just simply, what's your name, Mal?
Malisha.
Malaysia, how you gonna overcome this fear? You can't supervise. Suppose they tell you, do this presentation, for your department, what you could do?
That's a difference, man. That's a difference.
Why is it different?
Cause
This your department
That's
right
my
here that
idea.
you supervise and that you, right, and so that's why I say try Toastmasters, break yourself out of it. The more you do it, I hate public
think for
speaking,
me,
but
like,
the more I
it's
teach.
not just that's not really just the public speaking, but it's actually reading.
Okay, you need a little bit more practice reading.
Reading.
Reading in your thing. Okay, so look for page 8. We want you to practice. We want you to get this out. We want this to be your thing, because that's the only way you get us to the next level.
I go to back of the class then.
Why? You want you to stand up here and look at us, and you would give us eye contact.
Oh, you do all that today?
Why not? What would
You
use
do all
us?
that today?
Use us and practice on us. Good afternoon. That's what we're here for. To help make each other better. Use us. We're here to support you no matter what. Good afternoon.
What is this?
Okay, so good afternoon. I guess we can start now. Yeah, 6:01. Okay, good afternoon. How everybody doing today? Good, good. So we gotta get into practice to greeting everybody. Remember now, we are the future leaders. We are supervisors. Our whole department is looking up to us. We don't want to have any favorites. I always calling on Cohen, but I gotta be careful. I mean, I gotta make everybody feel as welcome. I gotta check on everybody and make everybody feel like they are part of the class, not just Cohen because he did so well in my other class, but I have to get to know everybody, right? And that's what we do as supervisors, to make sure that we include everybody and everybody feels that they are part of the team, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, okay, so in terms of our question that is due on welcome, what's your name? Shakira, welcome Shakira. Find a buddy, get a telephone number, and get the homework that's due on Monday, and get all the handouts that you need. It shouldn't be hard to catch up. Okay, good. So, where was I now? Yeah, everybody has to feel included. We are a team, we working together. We have a huddle every week. And every week when we have this huddle, we want everybody to contribute. We want everybody to give something back. We want everybody to get their 10 points for participation. Now, some people got their full 10 points in the first class, right? Right? Some people, very good. And then others, was warming up, and that's okay. We will all get used to each other in different time frames, but by the end of the class, once all of us are comfortable, we are sharing our knowledge, we are working together, that's what matters. Okay, so who wants to tell me about their research? Anybody had the chance to do research? I know it's only overnight. So you're talking all that information like, oh Lord, let my brain rest and it's pulling too much in one night. I gotta see where we at, so I know, because you all see all these papers. I have all these papers to give you all, but I give you all 2 at a time, so y'all don't feel overwhelmed. So what y'all say?
I haven't done like research.
Okay,
But I have thought on it.
okay.
Because like certain things, when you see it or when you hear it, your mind automatically starts to turn your thought process towards that. And I mean, for me, I think I already have an idea of what I want to say,
Okay.
but it's just a matter now how to compact
Documenting it and,
Yeah, how to
right.
put it together, but how to compact is. I think my topic is a topic that could be almost like an essay, kind of like, because you could approach it from a different angles.
Okay.
You could, you could approach it.
So
It's
we
much,
just want to
yeah.
overview, one of the sheets that I handed out today will help you. It's how you will be graded on your mentoring presentation at the end of the class, but I thought it was good to give it to you right up front and you can practice.
Right.
We don't want to go over the time frame, right? What did it say about time frame?
Use of time to Did the talk run over, under, what was time used? Was the time used efficiently?
Okay, and so as a class, we will sit down and we will grade each person. And so we want to make sure that, you don't talk excessively, like, I was to a funeral, my great aunt funeral, 92, bless her soul, she lived a happy, long, prosperous life, and I was like, oh Lord, all these people, they give tributes, but, we want to honor her. And listen, that funeral was out in 2 hours, I couldn't believe it. That was the shortest funeral I've ever been to in my life. And we was like, wow, but it wasn't rushed. It still felt special and everything. So we don't want the 6-hour funeral. We don't want us falling asleep and walking out, and we don't want the Grammy music playing. To cut it off. Cohen have it on his phone. He'll play it, and you'll know you have to stop right going. Okay. So what else on this sheet that we will go through? What else? What else it say? I don't even have a copy. I get but all the copies, so I don't even know what it says. What's that? Right, so we want to make sure the lovely lady all the way to the back. Hey, yeah, she like the back. We want to make sure she hear you. She want to give you a good grade. She want to know the whole story. Okay? Good. What else?
Non-verbal distractions, gestures, hand waving, posture.
Okay, good. So a lot of people like that's how you'll be today. Reading, right? So we want to give some eye contact. If somebody knock on the door, we want to stop. Come on in. Oh, see, wherever you're comfortable, that's the register. You could take it to sign it. Right. Yeah, make sure everybody sign it. Right. So we were interrupted, and so make sure it doesn't disrupt your presentation entirely. We had somebody give a presentation, awesome presentation, but she didn't have her glasses. And we were doing teamwork. And I think one person was online. Courtney was in that class, right? I still like the car, I could leave you alone. So you was the only name I know, so I have to keep calling you. But yeah, so she didn't bring her glasses. And there were 3 other people in the group. Nobody else volunteered to read for her, to do the presentation. I talking about awesome presentation. They had props, displays, everything. But the other 3 people sat there while she struggled without her glasses to read it. And they got, what could have been almost a 90%, they got like 50-60%. Okay, so be aware if you are in groups. This is a short period, but if it was the regular class, we would have been in groups and did some group work. But yeah, so be aware of that. If there's any, I don't know how we can help each other because we're not in groups, but just to let you know, don't let your group member or your team member struggle, because sometimes things do go wrong, and apparently she had lost her glasses that day because it was a presentation. She still wanted to come, but I don't know why nobody else in the group opted to read. And then after class, I said, why didn't you have your glasses? And she said, I lost them. I said, why didn't anybody in your group, volunteer? She said, because this was her part. And so at that point, you can't worry about whose part it is. If you have a very good presentation, you have to deliver it. If you don't deliver it properly, you lose a lot of marks. Okay? Okay, what else?
Verbal distractions, laughing, too personal.
Yeah, so remember now, I told you all last year. Hello, good afternoon. People went very extreme. They went down to the school, with pregnant girls. They said a lot. They gave us a lot of information. Sometimes it gets a little emotional, but nothing too personal. We don't need anybody's name, where they work, or who they are. Okay? Good.
Enunciation, correct punctuation.
Right, and so you won't know every word to it, but it's your presentation. And if you do use a new word, just Google it. Google is tell you, you could even hear them pronounce it just so you know the right way. And all of us have that problem sometimes where we're unfamiliar, especially good afternoon when we read and we may need some help. Right? What else?
Flow easy to follow, logical progression.
Okay. Now, what I've seen, because I normally in my other classes, I get a lot of essays. We have this awesome thesis statement, the opening. These are my 3 points. Process or purpose, communication, and what have you. And then we don't talk about any of those things. It goes south. A whole new story. I completely lost. So make sure that your content is relevant. The topic that you pick, I have it written down on a piece of paper, but I will remember that she did China, Chinese and the Indians. So if she come in here talking about that, we gonna be like, what's going on? That ain't your part, right? Okay, so make sure it's relevant to your topic.
Quality of slides.
Yeah, if some people come with props and what have you, and they want to put it up on the projector and all those extra stuff, but we're not gonna do, if you wanna do that for your mentoring, that's fine, but we can keep it simple, you know.
Oh, this is for the one for Monday.
Yeah, I guess I gave it now, so on Monday you would know that we will be looking at your eye contact and stuff like that, just to give you, some help. But this is really for June 17th, but I gave it early, just because you'll be presenting on Monday, okay? So some tips,
Good beginning and ending,
okay?
originality.
Okay. Right, so we don't want you to go online and copy and paste everything offline, and we want you to try to put it as best as possible into your own words, make it relevant to the day. Don't go to the encyclopedia, Wikipedia says this, and copy the old Wikipedia. We want some substance, we want something that we could take away and relate to. Okay? Good?
Knowledge of topic.
Yeah.
Content at appropriate level. Answers audience questions.
Right, and so think about it now. All of us would have read the essay, right? The presentation, and so all of us have different topics. So we should have some questions based on, whether we agree or disagree. Like I said, one person said that good-looking people that smell nice don't always make more money. And so somebody wanted to argue that was it. So there was a lot of questions because that person went online and saw that it was true, and there was some study by the University of Cambridge, what have you, that completed this study and said that it was true that 90% of the people that look and smell good, they make more money than people that don't, and so there were a lot of questions coming from that. So listen to the presentations, and please remember we getting this 10% for participation. Please ask 1 or 2 questions. Okay? Okay, good. So we good? Okay, good. So that's that first sheet. The next sheet is just a practice quiz. Our first quiz isn't until, let's see, when is it? May the 15th, right? And that quiz will be on chapters 1, 9, 3, and 12. So I just brought this today so you can practice. As we go through the chapter, you can ensure that you can answer the questions. You can take it home, you can complete it, and then you can keep it to study, because some of these questions will be there more developed. But it wouldn't be more than 20, 25 questions, 4 chapters, maybe 5 questions from each chapter, something like that. But just so you would have an idea of what the quiz will look like. And these are just questions from chapter 1. Right? Okay, good. So we all read chapters 1 and 9. Okay, we started 2, and what happened? Life happens always, right? Always happens, right? Okay, good. So we know life always happens, but like I said, when life happens, at least read the summary. There's a summary page. It touches on all the relevant points. Make sure to do the summaries. And then there's a crossword at the back of each chapter. Sometimes you love the crossword and out of your midterm or in your quiz. So do those crosswords, and they help you to remember, because most of it is definition based. And then once you understand all the definitions, and we test you on that up to midterm, then you turn it into essay form. Now make it relevant to everyday life. Now we'll give you 1 or 2 essay questions, but for the most part, it'll be definition based.
This presentation for Monday, what is the time limit? Or do we have a time limit?
2 or 3 minutes. It's a 1-pager, so a 1-pager should be 2 or 3 minutes. Nothing. I expect that within the first 40 minutes, all of us finish. 1 hour the most. Right. So nothing long and drawn out, but we want content and substance. Right. Any questions so far? And so whatever you missed, just like I said, find a friend, get a telephone number, and get all the notes. And if you have any questions after you speak to your friend and get all the information, then let me know. Okay? All right, great. So nobody read the chapter. Anybody? You did. Oh, excellent. Okay, so tell us about chapter 1. What did you read in chapter 1?
Talk
chapter one was basically talking about what a supervisor is, I guess, and the levels of manager. The one thing that stood out to me that I never thought of is that a supervisor is basically a manager.
Okay.
That's basically what chapter one was talking about. Chapter 9 was talking about types of leader. The autos, I can't remember it right now, because at that moment.
Okay.
The-
Charismatic leaders.
Yeah, the charismatic leader, and talking about leaders that lead based off of, one leader leads based off of getting the job done, and then the other one leads on human behavior, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, good. You have anything to add to it or?
Chapter 1 was pretty much talking about the organizational levels. So operative employees, supervisors, middle managers, and executives. And it also talked about how supervisors today differ from supervisors in the past. It also talked about the competencies that supervisors should have.
Right.
And they also talked about the management functions and the management process. Chapter 9, didn't get quite to it.
Okay, well, that's good. At least you have some idea as we go through it, you would know what we're talking about. Okay, so let's start on page 1. And page 1 talks about organization levels. Now, I say this in all my classes because I teach customer service and marketing, and of course, one of the questions on the test is going to be, who is a customer? What is marketing? And that's the 2 questions that everybody always gets wrong. In this class, could be guessed what question everybody always gets wrong? What is supervision? What is a skill? Okay? So don't take it for granted. No, the name of the class is Supervisory Skills. Know the definition of supervision. Know the definition of skill. Okay? Because normally I have to end up putting that on every test until I make sure that 100% of you know those 2 definitions. Okay? Okay. So we talk about organizations, and organizations are what? Your college, your sorority, your charity, a wholesaler, a sports team, a bank, the insurance company, right? And let's talk about Google. Google has a traditional organizational structure. It has that team-based approach. But even with that team-based approach, and it's a small company where they want everybody to feel like family, they want everybody to give advice, and they want, you know, a hands-on approach. They had a major, a walkout the other day. Anybody know about what happened at Google concerning harassment? Anybody knows? Okay, so apparently they have had a lot of issues with sexual harassment, and they didn't feel that the company was handling it properly, right? Or they didn't like the policies and procedures in regards to people were going to HR. HR was documenting that, okay, this person had an inappropriate conversation or was touched inappropriately, and the company did nothing, right? And so we're talking about Google because Google is like one of the I guess, multi-million-dollar organizations, even though they're unregulated. As far as teamwork, they're known, you know, as the creme de la creme type of organization out there, right? When you hear Google, everybody's like, oh, the world knows who Google is, right? And so that's why I picked Google. But even with that good reputation throughout the world, they had these issues. So everybody across Google in all their different countries just did a walkout. And they walked out because they were unhappy with the response from HR in regards to sexual harassment. So they staged a walkout. So what normally happens when a walkout is staged? Who has to stay and make the
Management.
Okay, management and definitely those supervisors, right? Because normally everything trickles down to the supervisors. So who is management in these companies? Who would be management in Google? Who would have had to stay and keep the company going whilst all of the operative employees walked out?
Supervisor, because
Okay.
Top management, no. I don't
Okay,
think so.
okay, so,
'Cause they don't
okay,
get their hands, they don't get from the day-to-day
today,
running of it. The supervisors are there with the day-to-day running.
right, so
They are
middle
both-
management
they are
and
both
up, they looking for
employees.
strategic goals and what have you. Okay, so the first definition that we would need to know is the organization. An organization is a systematic grouping of people brought together to accomplish some specific purpose. And again, we said like your sorority, your college, your bank, your insurance company, that's what the organization is. The organization is made up of 4 categories, 4 levels. It's operative employees, and who are the operative employees?
Staff.
Okay, and if we look right on, I have a different version of the book. Anybody who
who
does
have a
not,
manager's
but we would need the specific definition, and it is employees who physically produce an organization's goods and services by working on specific tasks. You can also change that into your own words, entry-level employees, or lower-level staff, or what have you, but they are called operative employees, okay? The next level is supervisor, okay? And the supervisor is part of an organization's management team. The supervisors oversee the work of operative employees, and they are the only managers who do not manage other managers. Okay, so think about that, because that's a question that's always, remember, that's a question that is always wrong, and a lot of people don't study the meaning of supervisor. So supervisor is the part of management that does not supervise other managers.
So number 2, you just want us to give 2 out of 4?
You mean on the question? Or you answer, okay. Yeah, just 2 out of the 4. Yeah, but probably by the time we get to your midterm, you probably have to have all 4. Okay? So this is just asking for 1 or 2. When you answer these questions, look at the points that it's worth, and then you will know how much information, because normally each question gives you 2 points. So normally this question is on the exam and it's worth 8 points, right? Okay. Okay, so we have operative employees, we have supervisors, then we have middle managers, and all employees below the top management level who manage other managers, responsible for establishing and meeting specific departmental or unit goals by top management or middle managers. So supervisors are the ones that don't manage any managers, and middle managers are the first level that manage managers. Okay, and then it's top management, a group of people responsible for establishing an organization's overall objectives and developing the policies to achieve those objectives. Okay, so let's just read. Let's read on what are organization levels. And this is where you'll see all the definitions are out to the side, yeah.
Okay, what are organizational levels? Generally speaking, organization can be divided into 4 distinct levels: operative employees, supervisors, middle managers, and top management. Let's briefly look at each level. The base level in the pyramid is occupied by operative employees. These employees physically produce an organization's goods and services by working on specific tasks. The counter clerk at Burger King, the claims adjuster at Progressive Insurance, the assembly line worker at the Toyota auto plant, and the UPS representatives who delivers your packages are examples of operative employees. This category may also include many professional positions: doctors, lawyers, accountants, engineers, and information technology specialists. The common feature these operative workers share is that they generally don't manage or oversee the work of any other employee. Now, turn your attention to the top 2 levels in Exhibit 1-1. These are traditional management positions. Top management is a group of people responsible for establishing the organization's overall objective and developing the policies to achieve these objectives. Titles of typical top management positions in business firms include Chair of the Board, Chief Executive Officer, President, and Senior Vice President. Among nonprofit organizations, top management may have such titles as Museum Director, Superintendent of Schools, or Governor of a state. Middle managers include all employees below the top management level who manage other managers. These individuals are responsible for establishing and meeting specific goals in their particular department or unit. Their goals, however, are not established in isolation. Instead, the objectives set by top management provide specific direction to middle managers regarding what they are expected to achieve. Ideally, if each middle manager meets his or her goals, the entire organization meets its objective. Examples of job titles held by middle managers include Vice President of Finance, Director of Sales, Division Manager, Group Manager, District Manager, Unit Manager, or High School Principal. Let's again turn to Exhibit 1.1. The only category that we haven't described is supervisors. Like top and middle managers, supervisors are also part of the organization's management team. What makes them unique is that they oversee the work of operative employees. Supervisors, then, are the only managers who don't manage other managers. Another way to think of supervisors is first level managers. It is counting from the bottom of the traditional pyramid shaped organization. Supervisors represent the first level in the management hierarchy.
Okay, so let's go back to the organization. A systematic grouping of people brought together to accomplish some specific purposes. Okay, so a purpose for the organization is normally expressed in what? A term, a goal, our values, what we want to achieve. Okay, and so every organization has what? A vision, right? So do we know our vision statement?
Yes.
We do? Who say yes?
Who Biff?
No. I work wherever we work. All of us are employed, right? Wherever we work, right? So we know our visions. We know our vision statement. So you showing up every day. You don't work for, what's your name? Alicia and Co. You don't work for Alicia and Co. You work for Militia. Yeah, you don't work for Militia and Co. So because you know what your values are, you know what your beliefs are, you know what your expectations are every day. Do you know what your company is on? Yes.
I can't remember. I know I long.
Okay, so a lot of us don't know. We don't know the motto. We don't know the vision. We don't know what the values of the company is. We don't know what they are trying to accomplish on a daily basis or what they want to achieve, right? So how are we going to supervise and teach somebody else? How are we going to, our job every day is to ensure that they are following the policies, the procedures, and they too long, so of course we don't know them either, right? What's that? You don't remember. So if you don't remember, that means we have a whole bunch of people who don't remember, using their own judgment, just telling you what to do, and it may not necessarily be the right thing. Because everybody who don't remember can't be right? Some of us might be wrong, right? But that's just the way we operate. It's human nature. Don't think any different, right? So who said you know yours? What's your company's vision?
It's the icon.
Yeah, ultimate partner,
banking solutions. Yeah.
Okay, and so do you all have values? Do you have a motto, anything like that? Okay, but suppose it's say, and I mean we work in the Bahamas, right? And fine, but suppose we want to travel abroad, right? And it's say doing our best, we do what is right, or the Bank of Solutions, we want to support Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda, for the benefit of Bin Laden. We don't know, right? We don't know, so it is important that you go to work, find out what the vision is, find out what your bank's principles are, find out what their values are. You know, they say where there's no vision, the people perish, right? Find out what you're working towards. Find out if you really, really working towards achieving these goals. Are we really the bank of solutions? You know, because a lot of times we have these mottos, we have these vision statements, and we say them on every commercial, good evening, but do we actually live them? Do we actually operate that way every day? I teach customer service, and what we start is that the Bahamas have some of the worst customer service in the world. Right? How?
In the world?
In the world. In the world. We right up there with some of the worst customer service in the world. But it's because we don't even know, we showing up every day, and we don't even know what our promise is. We don't even know the catchy phrase that are on every banner that they say every day, we don't know it. Right? One person know it, and some other people in here should know it, because in our other class we had to go and do that for homework. Right? One person? Only one person know it?
You know what?
The motto. The company's motto.
Yeah, I know that.
You know yours? Is it long or is yours was yours?
Your business, our business. No, your goals, our goals, and enabling your business to thrive.
Oh, is that true?
Oh, yeah, your objective.
Basically the same thing here, but so is it true? That's when we
Oh.
show up to work every day, that's what we doing?
Yeah, they be busting you.
No, but I mean, do we actually believe in it? Are we showing up to work every day, going to work with this goal in mind? That we've set this goal, this is what our company wants us to achieve, and now we want to supervise people.
Sometimes you don't feel like our company don't even believe they own model. And they
Yeah,
own
but
vision.
and that's the truth.
That's the truth.
That's the truth, and that's why we here to make a difference.
Like
Right?
our vision is like at least 2 sentences, unless they are
That's probably the motto.
compound.
The whole entire the motto is normally some catchy little 2-sentence phrase, but the whole vision of the company.
I can't Google our vision.
Yeah, Google it.
Let me see.
I don't know if you'll find the local one online, but you know, and in my next class, one problem what I had is you have this vision, but a lot of companies don't ever mention. They say earning the right to be the customer's first choice, but they never ever talk about
How?
the staff.
Oh.
What about your staff? What about making your staff better, or having the best customer service, or having the best staff? Your most valuable asset is your human factor. Without your staff, you have no bank. There's no organization, right? There's nobody to live out this purpose, right? But we need to at least first know what the purpose is that we living out, right? And so when we go against our values, how do we even know? If we don't have that guideline, so somebody tell us who been there longer than us, this is what we should do. That's how we operate every day, right? And how you know that person right? And that's one of the questions that you answer on your mentoring. You may answer it. Who's the knowledge source in your company? Who do you go to when you need to know something and you sure? You don't go to the policy manual that this big because it's too big, right, to read. So you go and ask somebody who may just use their judgment. Who probably never ever checked with one, they made up something. No, it's possible, right? It's possible. And so as supervisors, these habits, we get this job, we dying to get to the next level. If they don't make us the supervisor, we big mad, right? But are we really ready for that position? Are we really a leader? Do we have the right characteristics? What happens is the person with the best technical competency, Miss Bullet been there long enough, she done really for the position, it should be her. But do I have that human factor? Do I know how to deal with people? Can I provide solutions? Or I've been here 24 years. Now it's still entry level, so it's my turn. That's what happens, right? And we won't stop making those decisions because there's a reason I've been here for 24 years. There's a reason why I never move. Right? There's a reason why. Okay? You find it?
Just 400. Special.
Oh, okay. But by all means, y'all go back into your institutions and find out what these goals are. What am I trying to achieve? And not only that, when you write your own personal goals for the year, because everybody has like a performance appraisal, an action plan, a development plan. You're just pulling it out of the sky, or you know that we have all this filing and nobody is doing, so that could be my goal for the year. And they say give us a hoorah if I do all this filing.
Okay, I guess
Right,
that
but-
was the motto. Not long then.
No, but we gotta know because we wanna supervise and we wanna be trained properly, and then we pulling up the people behind us. Right? So it sounds good, we wanna make more money, but do we wanna be the person responsible to make solutions for the upcoming or the future leaders? Will we really do a good job? We haven't fact or fiction or feeling. Right? And that's why we having so many problems in these institutions, because everybody don't feel the same way. And rather than passing down policy and procedure, and this is what the value is and the motto is and the mission, we passing down, this is how I feel. This is the way I like it. This is what I say you must do. Right? Until you find that person who don't like you, who don't agree with you. Right? Which is many now. Before it used to be few, but right now you have 10 against you and 1 with you, right? But the most effective supervisor is the person who can supervise the most difficult person. When you could get the most difficult people in your institution to say, I really don't like Ms. Bullet, but I'm a part of this team, I can do it anyway, then you're effective. And then for Cohen, I like Cohen. Cohen might necessarily like me. You know, Cohen, I could get Cohen hopefully to do anything because, you know, he used to me by now. Hopefully. You know, but y'all know that type? When you could get the most difficult person who say, I know Miss Bullet run it all. I can make sure she got to tell me what to do. When you could get that person to say, no matter what, I can be effective, then you are effective. Okay? And when you can train up a successor, then you are successful. But if you leaving, and like the pastor at my church, he been there for 30 or 40 years, and he just now looking for somebody to replace him when he retire in 5 years. What you do for 30 years, sir? What you do? I don't want to tell you, and I love my church. Don't mind me, you know, don't only tell people this do wrong. I can tell you my church is awesome, and I was led there, and I always get away from the Lord. But, no, but that's what I said. You was here for 40 years, and now you announced retirement, and now you're looking in your last 5 years to bring somebody. So it shouldn't be that way. Like I say, when you know you're ready to go to the next level, somebody like to fill your shoes, because you would have poured everything out of you into them, and somebody above you should pour everything out into you. But if that doesn't happen, if you're a leader, you get those policies and procedures, you read, you do what is right, you know what the mission and the vision of the company is, and that's how you get to the next level. Okay, and so that's what these organizations are. That's what they develop, because we all have one common goal, and we working towards achieving it. Okay? That's the purpose. And then we create these levels. Right? And we know what those levels are, right? And we know who are on those levels. Operative employees. Right. And so I didn't even become a supervisor. And when I went down to Royal Bank Trust, they gave me the worst. Everybody cleaned out their portfolio and all the dormant accounts, all the people who never answered the phone, all the people who are KYC non-compliant. I got all those accounts. Okay? And they was like, oh boy, Bullet, they really do you bad. Right? And at first I was ready to run out that door and say, oh no, these people don't answer the phone. How can I make these accounts compliant? You know? I can't how can I reactivate them? How can I clean them up? You know, these people are the ones who promise and never show up, right? But I learned a whole lot. I learned how to deal with all types of customers. And to me, that made me effective as I moved on. So that's really what happens in the real world when you become a supervisor, because you know and you're all excited, and so everything that nobody else want to deal with, they just dump on you, right? And you could say it's unfair, and guess what? They gave me $25 more. $25. I'm ready for this position for $25 more. So trust me. Trust me. I mean, a lot of things change from them, but then, like I said, don't have this big expectation. Have this big expectation that I will learn and this will take me to the next step. But when you become that supervisor, you are the savior in every capacity. Okay? Okay, so you go through that process, or that painful process, and then as you move on up, you change a lot of things that you see when you have the ability to make changes, and then, you know, you make it easier for everybody who comes behind you. Right? Because like I told you all, in my department, what took me 10 years to achieve, took somebody else 5 years, and the last person I left was 3 years, and I felt accomplished. I was like, okay, we must have done something better. Because it really shouldn't, back in my day, I just wasn't old enough to be a manager, or, you know what I mean, you know, they say, oh, when I was your age, I didn't make that kind of money. Or I was a manager at the bank, you just an executive assistant, and you expect to make $40,000, like, you know, that's how they term it. And so we'll talk about the old thinking versus the new thinking. Another thing is, the old thinking was that I was your boss, that I am in charge, that you must listen, do what I say. Again, everything how I feel, nothing in policy. In back in my day, there wasn't even no policy. We had a lot of stuff come down from Canada. It wasn't applicable locally. And so 5 years into it, we got so frustrated, we decided to localize, use the policy from Canada and localize it to be more applicable to us. Because really, how are we supervising, trying to train people off a policy that ain't even relevant or applicable to us? Okay? So back then, they was the boss. They was in charge. You do what they say. You don't dare speak up. There's foolishness with speaking up? No way. Right? But today, who are we? Mentors. We are coaches. We work together. We teamwork. Right? That's what they trying to change it to. Do we experience that now in our organizations, or do we still have the hard and fast, I's the boss, and you better just do what I say, don't even speak?
It varies, yeah.
Various? What about you? Pardon?
I know what you said.
No, I said, what about you? What is your experience where you work? You have that I am the boss mentality, or I am your coach, I am your trainer, I am, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. And you find that your supervisors going for training, they attending seminars, they having workshops? They are? And they still have this mentality?
Yeah, they do.
Hey, you want food?
The free lunch. There's a lunch and learn.
Because a lot of people, you have some supervisors who, like you say, who are that coach and mentor. You have those like that, no matter how many workshops you go to. But then you have the ones who just, in their mind, everything is micromanaging.
Right.
They don't care. I hear it's like you say, no matter, it has to be the person itself. Because for me, personally, in my opinion, I don't care how many seminars you go to, not even supervisors, staff. You could send your frontline staff to customer service workshop, and out of 5 tellers you send there, you may have 2 who actually take back what they gain in there and use it. Another 3 is just a normal Monday to Friday. I lock up, I do deposit with y'all, whatever, and I go home. So it's the person itself, I feel. And for me, I don't feel workshops can change a person. You have to one actually take that knowledge and run with it.
Okay, so training Ronell.
For me,
So
personally,
what about us who here? What about all of us who here?
Again,
We're less
yeah,
training
and
here.
again, it is too that. You can,
2 of us
you
could go
probably
back
have somebody
to
there who just is a micromanaging supervisor. Don't mind them sitting here. They may just be my way, no
they need
way.
to pass this class, go back
I
with the
pass the
certificate,
class,
and
I
that's
go, I
it.
get my little certificate that
Yeah.
they over.
Right.
Then you're gonna have the ones in here who are gonna take back what they learn and filter it down to their staff. That's
Right.
that's
just life.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
for the
your
2 of
person.
you all who are not micromanaged, we want to implement with the human factor, right?
I
That's
think
your
a
goal,
lot-
right?
A lot of
You, yeah, that's what you writing on your paper on pay as well as human factor, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so no, isn't it? She like, miss, I don't know what you're talking about.
I think in my experience, a lot of, nowadays, we have a lot of young people in the workplace and they come in with a mindset, you can't tell me what to do.
Remember,
So, yeah, like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sometimes you, and I think it's all about your approach because there's nothing wrong with being stern when you supervise your staff, but you have to do it to a point where you be tasteful about it.
Right.
You know, because
Right.
a lot of people, they come into the workplace, they're young, and especially when you have young supervisors their age, they come in and they feel like they're intimidated, so you have to be tasteful with your approach, because nothing is wrong with being stern, because we're all here to get a job done. But I think that is a major factor in today's society where we have so many young people coming into the workplace, they're not accustomed to working, so they have to adapt to working conditions now, and then too, they go into workplaces where their supervisors are pretty much their same age or slightly older than them, and that's causing a rift in the workplace as well.
Right, and they are looking for more younger persons with strong interpersonal skills. And so if we would have read back in the day, it was technical skills. You know how to do this job better than anybody else, so you next. But today, they say, because of the Royal Bank has this program, and it's called Health and Wellness, and where they go as far as they take you to counseling. They pay for the first three free counseling sessions, and do you believe they had like a 70-80% rate of employees calling this counseling hotline? And so when they did their review, HR review, they implemented all sorts of policies and procedures, and again, some people listened and some people didn't. But mental health is a serious thing in the workplace. Most 90% of the employees that go into work, they hate their job. When they come from work, they beat up. Yeah, it's like they drag every day. No, for true, but we have to change that. We have to change that, okay? As operating employees as well as supervisors. Definitely the supervisors need to provide solutions, because nobody, I mean, there are gonna be days on the government payday or the holiday weekends, that's when you burnt out and you beat up. But when you burn out and you beat up every single day and it ain't the work, yeah, something is wrong. Okay? So we need to create a conducive environment. Okay? You need to show up to work and not dread that I had to come to this place today. Okay? And it starts with the company and its culture and its beliefs, and it starts with each one of us wanting to make a difference.
I think that's why I'm saying too with in chapter 1 where they discussed how supervisors are limited with making decisions, because sometimes you can motivate your staff and you do what is needed to get the staff to work. But at the end of the day, sometimes supervisors are restricted to making certain decisions, especially when it's time back or overtime, to compensate the employees, because we want to do it, but we're restricted to making decisions, and when decisions do come down, the employees, they're not motivated anymore because it's something that they would not prefer.
Okay, so let me give you a little tip, because I was that supervisor. I motivated by money, so I thought everybody just wanted money, right? And when they give me a budget for 8 people, which was must see $200 for 8 persons, I was like, what? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? You know, this can't motivate anybody, but you have to become creative. And so what I did, I had a new employee coming into my department. And so, you know, I did a whole big welcome to the new employee and whatever. And it's like, oh, Miss Bullet, you know, this girl, like, she won't do this for us, you know, so you have to be careful with it. I said, no, I just want to start off right with this person, and it'll benefit everybody. So I filled out a form, and I sent the form out to everybody. I said, tell me what motivates you. I strongly believe you have to come to work motivated. It comes from within. I can develop if you bring me something, but if you bring me nothing, I can't really help you. So I issued this form, and would you believe that somebody wrote that they like recognition?
Yeah.
All they wanted was their picture up in the lobby. Well, hello. Here goes my $200 worth yet. Because she only wanted When it was her reward and recognition, she did not want movie tickets, she did not want dinner, she did not want $50. She wanted her picture up in the lobby. And guess what? That wasn't coming out my $200. I tell them, this person is the employee of the quarter. Please send it down to the studio and have a nice portrait. And they paid for that. And I hung that up. And every time the people came in, like we were wealth management, and when persons came in, they'd be like, who is this lovely lady? I said, would you like to meet her? And they was like, yes. And these millionaires, because I worked in the trust department, these billionaires, okay, the Bacardis and stuff like that. And I would go, I'd call out, and I said, Mr. Bacardi wanted to meet the employee of the quarter. She would go to the bathroom, and I told me she was in her glory. And she was, I took her the, all the good work. She's staying back, no, because we didn't have overtime. You know what I mean? So different things. See, we have to think outside the box. We have to be creative. And like I said, I was shocked. And these three of them, after they saw her picture up, and they was like, oh, they work towards that too.
It becomes a
They
competition
want
like-
more or less.
So they can't.
I don't even take pictures.
Everybody's gonna do their work.
I hate pictures, don't put my picture nowhere.
That's
Don't call
you, but
me,
for them,
right,
that's the
but
work
that's
for
what I
them.
say. So a lot of times you make the mistake thinking that everybody wants the same thing. No, everybody does not want the same thing, right? Somebody wanted to take a class, and we was the operations department, they wanted to take the compliance class. They said, Ms. Bullard, I am gonna work hard, I cannot afford the school fee, I know Royal Bank says it has to be applicable to my job, but I really, really wanna take this compliance class. And I worked and I worked and I worked. That person became employee of the year. They paid for the compliance class for as our employee of the year. Again, no overtime, no meal allowance, no, but she put in hours. Okay, so think outside the box, and you will be surprised. Half a day off. We used to be all the way out Life of Key. Half a day it took us to drive to work. You know what I mean? So, or don't let you have to come downtown. That's the end of your day. So you Miss Bullet, let me flex out my time. I could work till 9 o'clock tonight, but tomorrow I need to come in at 12. Sure, no problem at all. And then when it's your birthday and it's time to do your license and all these things, I can give that to you.
Yeah.
I just give it, that's an extra. You know what I mean? And so people now feel valued.
Good.
When I run into them at 4:59 and say, please,
They
don't
ain't
leave.
got nothing.
This is why I gotta go to. Please, I need 2 approvals, please. They stay in.
See, Ms. Bullet, that worked for you again, like you said, you were able to get your staff, not only were they actually working, but you were able, because they weren't reluctant in assisting you. You, like you say, for that one picture, that person that probably had no problem to keep that entry to stay back because Ms. Bullet gave them something. Some persons, especially,
With no money now, I
that's
have
what
no
I'm
money,
saying.
yeah.
It wasn't nothing that cost you anything. But like you say, some people like that. Some people only need you to say, hey, you know what? Take an extra hour today on your lunch break. Or, you know, stuff like that. So what may cost you nothing, that actually that actual employee isn't reluctant anymore. Because you know, some employees have in their mind, 5 o'clock is 5 o'clock. I going home. I ain't helping nobody, I didn't do my 8 hours, that's it. But because you, not all supervisors like you now. That's
No,
the
but
thing.
I had to,
Like you said,
they
you
gave
think on
me,
the box.
yeah, you have
But
to do,
again,
you
probably
don't
again
always have the
wasn't a
money.
supervisor who, quote unquote, a micromanaging supervisor ain't doing that. A micromanaging supervisor expects you, if I come to at 4:59, I expect you to still keep that
Because
entry
you're
for
gonna
me.
one minute
I
and
expect you
lock
to lock away this teller for me. Again, like I said, it probably goes to, again, to the type of supervisor you are.
Yeah,
Because if you dealing with someone, so in here, I would say to everyone, you can't be that, if you want the best or something out of your staff, you gotta be willing
To give something,
give
and you
something.
won't always have money.
And it doesn't have to be monetary,
Yeah,
because
right.
now you was a good supervisor, but a
Oh, but
micromanaging
let me tell you.
supervisor. I ain't saying that everybody likes you,
Well, let me tell you.
because like the young lady say, it's times when you become, when you're a supervisor, you have to lay down the line and say, guess what?
Right.
This have to happen.
But let me tell you, my one time I had about 30 staff, and I can tell you they were split down the middle. These said, hey, this side of the class hate me, and these said love me. Okay, they hate, and that's how it is. Even I had supervisors. I've been to Royal Bank for 16 years. I have people that are godparents to my children, I'm godparents to their children. And then I have supervisors who hated my guts. And then they hated me, but still had some respect, and we work together. And we still ain't friends, but we have a professional respect. Okay? And then like I told y'all about the older lady who they put, when they put HR under me, oh Jesus. When she see me now, she could only hug me. You know what I mean? But when I was also, she just couldn't even stand to look at me. For true. She couldn't stand to look at me. If I tell her she do something wrong or couldn't do something, that was like a month or she walking the next way around the building so she don't have to walk past my office to see me. You know, but it's life, so you cannot go to work worrying about who if somebody likes you, it's a plus.
Listen to me.
You have to go to work. No, for true, you have to go to work like you work for the Lord. That's the only way to survive.
Are you gonna go to work?
Like you show up, yeah, like you go show up for the Lord. And you know what the Bible say, and that's what you could do today. But of course, the devil could come out and poke you and say, right? That's what you have to do. That's the only way to survive in the corporate world today.
A lot of staff is feel familiarity to way feel because it means you in the lunch today. Be cool, I could go and do what I want to do tomorrow when I want to do. I don't have to call in and I could be half an hour late on my tire flat.
Yeah.
So
But then-
some people,
Let me give you all the next step. When I first became the teller, so I was on the teller lineup. It was 7 of us, and all of us started together, and I became the teller supervisor. The person that I used to drop home every single day was the one who almost cost me lose my job. Okay, she stood on that lineup with her face like death was on her every single day. She was coming in late, staying, calling every time you needed somebody extra. She had to go. She couldn't do this. Your friends, trust me, if they make you the supervisor over the people that you asked to go to another location, don't care where that if that location Life Key and you downtown, go to Life Key. Your friends will not, or your peers that you start with will not respect you. That would be the hardest thing for you to do.
I feel as if, like, if me and you are in a line up together, you should be happy that that person accomplished that goal. But most people aren't like that.
Listen to me. I was the head office. Within 6 months, I was the head office writing why I should keep my job from my friend every day.
My thing is also, you have to remember that you were there before too. Some people when they reach
Oh, my head might have expanded, but I tried to be fair because I was saying it could have been any one of us. It could have been any one of us, and I would have wanted to be treated fairly. But you have to follow the rules. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just some tips.
I feel sometimes too, the top manager would test you too, because if they feel you're friends with somebody, they can test that relationship.
Right, so they could come to you
They
and
could
say,
let you
Cooper,
discipline.
go and discipline this
Yes.
person. Cooper, go, and they will send you over and over and over. All right. So this is why you have to treat everybody fairly. When you reach in the morning, just because I'm familiar with Cohen, I shouldn't only speak to Cohen. I have to speak to Cooper. I have to speak to you. I have to speak to people at the back, so it doesn't come across as favoritism. If Cohen have a flat tire, when you have a flat tire, I can excuse you too. There's one of the persons that really, really hated me. You know why I got her to perform? Because she had 2 little children. And she had separated from her husband. And only because she knew she would need me to say, we worked at Life Key. My husband refused to pick up. You can't pick up nobody when you work at Life Key. You know what I mean? Going down to Palmdale to make it back in an hour? Impossible. And so that's how I got her to perform. Because of those children. She hated my guts. Hated my guts. Okay? But you cannot worry about that. You have to be professional at all times. You have to, it's a lot. Being a supervisor will help you. So if you can handle being a supervisor, you could be the CEO. Okay? Because that is just training ground. You will be faced with lots of adversity. Like Cooper said, your manager will see if you could deal with your friend. Okay? And they will test you over and over again. So keep all your friendship, lock down your Facebook, don't take no selfies, keep all that personal when you reach the work.
No, but
Work.
too, I feel your friend too should also, don't try to draw the line, cross the line. They should have a certain respect too.
We humans.
That's a distraction.
No, but you should
We
tell.
humans.
Because what you, I mean, you testing, you cost me my job. You want a friend?
Not that, like she's, not like she's
Yeah.
saying.
When my friend caught, like I said, I was the head office writing about why I needed to keep my job, okay, off of my friend.
Yeah.
Grow a relationship, but
Because
Yeah.
we could be cordial now, but being on the job for 10 years, like
I guess it's
Miss
with the
Willard say,
person.
she would godmothers to some
Right.
children and
someone
also
tries
her.
to manipulate you on the job, they wasn't really your friend.
You know, just saying,
That's why it depends on.
But
Yeah,
it
it depends on the
varies,
person.
yeah.
So that person was never really your friend.
Cause she says.
Cause I can't do it with your friends, I can't,
Every day.
whether you my supervisor or not, I can't put you in jeopardy.
But that's what people do.
Like,
So,
you got
just don't
ask
be,
you to do something.
hey, don't be surprised. Don't be like me. Like I was so shocked about the $25. I was like, no way.
So
Well,
you say you was getting $25, and then you go on the
Listen, no, you know how they soup you up. They soup you up and send you this letter, and then talk about you pick out your office and do all of this, and girl, you go into life a key and
So question, if you didn't know that before that, you was gonna, you
I
was gonna think that was
see.
it?
I wanted like I had these goals set
How
like.
was the gas together there?
Like when I was 30, they used to give us gas allowance, but at the time as we was closing down, they had cut it out. I had a lot of goals, like I was young, and maybe it helped me. I was like, I have to make $30,000 by the time I was like 30. You know what I mean? And I was only making $27,000, and I must he was 28. I did feel like a failure. I did feel like I have to do something different, or you know what I mean? And I did something different and drastic. I left my job at Royal Bank, went to work at Atlantis to make $38,000, and then left Atlantis in 1 week and went back to Royal Bank to make $28,000.
28?
28. So they gave me $1,000 more to come back.
Yeah, this one includes
But
the pay one thing.
Atlantis was paying me $10,000 more, and I was there for 1 week. Girl, it's implicit and explicit cost. You all know the difference? You all know the difference between it? You know, like, okay, I could say come to school, right? But the parking lot across the road. So that's an implicit cost. Like, you come into school, you get an education, but if it rains, you can't get out your car and stuff like that. So the cost for you now to get to school is now increased, you know, because it rained and there's no shelter from that parking lot across the road, you know. So now you have to pay for parking. Or you have to pay, it's like, so it cost me more mental anguish. You know, and it wasn't worth it. But, you know, at that time I was saying, it's no way I could be turning 30 and I have to make this money. No, I have to almost be the $40,000. So I was like killing myself, applying for job here, doing all kind of stuff, going crazy. But yeah, that didn't work for me. But before I turned 31, I got a position where I was making 35, so I did calm right down. You know, but that's how I just did feel that way. I don't know. That was 20 years ago. So yeah, a phase I went through. But yeah.
And 20 years ago, $35
It-
was a
Yeah,
long way.
yeah, and the people who I had as my mentor, and I was talking to them, and they was like, "No, you crazy? That's impossible." When I was a manager at the branch, I was only making $24,000, and this and that. Yeah, Yeah. okay, okay. So they was like, "So it's no way, it's possible you can do that." So I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Salaries was really low. Salaries come a long way. A very long way. No? Okay, well
With cost of living, and then see, some companies don't give that cost of living adjustment. Cause some
No.
companies give once the cost of
What
living
companies
goes up.
get that?
But they just get a little increment every
It ain't
January.
much, but-
We used to at Royal Bank we got a bonus and an increment.
No, it ain't a bonus now, it's different.
You don't get
Y'all don't get
bonuses.
bonus?
We don't get bonus either.
Y'all don't get bonus?
We get an increment.
Hey, wrong company, right? Yeah. But anyway, back to this. Management functions. Now, we know the different levels, right? Operative, supervisor, middle management, top. Okay, and so now what are the functions? Okay, turn over. And there are 4 functions. My reader. What are the 4 management functions? So let's read this so we can know the definitions.
In the early part of the 20th century, a French industrialist named Henry Fayol wrote that all managers perform 5 management functions. They plan, organize, command, coordinate, and control. In the mid-1950s, 2 professors at UCLA used the functions of planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling as the framework for their management textbook. Most management textbooks continue to be organized around planning, around management functions. Though these have generally been condensed to the basic 4, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, see Exhibit 1 to 3, because organization exists to achieve some purpose, someone has to define that purpose and the means for its achievement. A manager is that someone. The planning function encompasses defining an organization's goals, establishing an overall strategy for achieving these goals, and developing a comprehensive hierarchy of plans to integrate and coordinate activities. Setting goals keep the work to be done in its proper focus and helps organizational members keep their attention on what is most important. Managers also have to divide work into manageable components and coordinate results to achieve objectives. This is the organizing function. It includes determining which tasks will be done, who will do them, how the tasks will be grouped, who will report to whom, and when decisions will be made. We know that every organization contains people and that part of a manager's job is to direct and coordinate the activities of these people. Performing this activity is referred to as the leading function of management. When managers motivate employees, direct the activities of others, select the most effective communication channel, or resolve conflicts among members, they are engaging in leading. The final function managers perform is controlling. After the goals are set, the plans formulated, the structural arrangements determined, and the people hired, trained, and motivated, some things may still go amiss. To ensure that things are going as they should, a manager must monitor the organization's performance. Actual performance must be compared with the previously set goals. If there are any significant deviations, it's the manager's responsibility to get the organization back on track. This process of monitoring, comparing, and correcting constitutes the controlling function.
Okay, so as we see, there are levels and then there are functions. A lot of time on the exams, persons get these two confused. So know what the levels are, know what the functions are, and then know how to explain the functions. Planning is setting goals. Organization is determining what needs to be done or organizing. Leading, directing, motivating, and handling conflicts. Controlling, monitoring activities, and achieving organizational goals. Okay? Know the difference. Write levels when you study, and then write functions, so you won't confuse the two. This half of the class is write all the function under the levels. Okay? On the exams. Okay? So now we'll go over to when we talked about it, how everything is dumped on the supervisor, how there are a lot of roles that they play. The supervisor is considered the key person, the person in the middle, just another worker, and a behavioral specialist. So we'll go on to the next page and we'll read from Changing Expectations of Supervisors. Cooper?
70 years ago, if you had asked a group of top executives what they thought a supervisor's job was, you would have gotten a fairly standard answer. They would describe a man, which it was likely to be back then, who forcefully made decisions, told employees what to do, closely watched over those employees to make sure they did as they were told, disciplined them when they broke the rules, and fired those who didn't shape up.
Okay, and that's the same experience we had there in the Bahamas, right?
Mhm.
Still 70 years ago or maybe more recent. Okay, and this is where we talking about the iron fist, the ruler, the controller, right? Okay.
Supervisors were the bosses on the operating floor, and their job was to keep the employees in line and get the work out. If you ask top executives that same question today, you'll find a few who still hold to the supervisor as boss perspective. But you'll also hear executives describe today's supervisor using terms such as trainer, advisor, mentor, facilitator, or coach. In this section, we will look at some of these changing expectations of supervisory managers. What roles do supervisors play? The supervisor's job is unique in that it bridges the management ranks with the operating employees. No one else in the organization can make that claim. Yet, because of this uniqueness, supervisors have an ambiguous role. Each of the following offers a different viewpoint of the supervisor's role. Key person. Supervisors serve as the critical communication link in the organization's chain of authority. They are like the hub of a wheel around which all operating activities revolve. Person in the middle. Because they are neither fish nor fowl, supervisors must interact and reconcile the opposing forces and competing expectations from higher management and workers. If unresolved, this conflicting role can create frustration and stress for supervisors. Just another worker. Some people, particularly upper level managers, see supervisors as just another worker, rather than as management. This is reinforced when their decision-making authority is limited, when they're excluded from participating in upper level decisions, and when they perform operating tasks alongside the same people they supervise.
Okay, because we normally have a management meeting, right? We don't have a supervisors meeting, right? So that means all these supervisors talk to their manager, and then their manager takes that to the meeting, right?
Sorry.
You all have a supervisors meeting?
Yeah, we have a supervisors meeting.
Okay, okay,
They have
very
board
good.
directors, they have the board meeting, and they have supervisors meeting like once a week.
Separate and apart from managers meeting, okay? And who's in that meeting?
Oh, just the supervisors.
Just the
The junior
supervisors.
staff don't be in there. Junior staff have their own meeting. If
Right,
the
no, that's what I
staff
mean,
have
so
one,
who
yeah.
do you, once you meet, who do
I
you
don't-
take
I
it,
don't-
no, but I mean, who do they take their discrepancies to? Their manager, and then their manager
brings it
was,
to the executive.
okay, alright,
So
okay,
the supervisors are supervisors from
various
various
departments.
departments in that branch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, good, yeah, I've never heard of a super, but it's good that they're
And that's
doing
not
it.
good.
Yeah, okay, good, very good, okay.
Behavioral specialists. Consistent with the belief that one of the most important abilities needed by supervisors is strong interpersonal skills, they are looked at as behavioral specialists. To succeed in their jobs, supervisors must be able to understand the varied needs of the staff and be able to listen, motivate, and lead.
Okay, we can stop there. So, again, like I said, before, back in the day, with this iron fist, it was who was technically inclined, who knew how to do everything, that was the next person in line. But today, I mean, at least I've seen it in Royal Bank, and if you go into the banks now, there are a lot of young managers around. And what they're trying to accomplish is that these people can relate, they're more relatable. They have stronger interpersonal skills. They can now handle people better. They can manage people. They are concerned that you got a flat tire or you have young kids, or, you know, they are there to implement the human factor. And that is what Royal Bank's course is. But I've seen even people in my class who were managers to Fidelity, to Commonwealth Bank at very, very young, like early 30s. And that's something new, because before in Royal Bank, like I said, I used to, but you just feel young, or why are you trying to do this and that? They'll never hire you. But we want to change the status quo. That's why we're here. We want to make the difference, right? As we train and we go out and pour out our training to other persons, hopefully, not everybody, but some people will, you know, make some changes. Okay? Okay, so if you look at the practice quiz, why are supervisors' role considered ambiguous? Describe then, yes now. Can we answer that based on what we just discussed? We talked about supervisors, the traditional boss, authoritative figure. It used to be a man. He decided, he directed, he controlled. But today, who do we have? The trainer, the mentor, somebody who listens, somebody who's interested. There's a suggestion box in every company. Some people read it. Did anybody ever got feedback from their suggestion box, or that just there because it has to be there?
That's no idea.
They give feedback, and when they say they're gonna make a change, do they actually do it?
If it seems
appropriate.
Appropriate.
If it's plausible.
Yeah.
Okay.
They try to, but once persons are really interested and they don't force it, and they don't check for it.
Okay, so what type of things come out your suggestion box?
I wouldn't know that, the suggestion box.
You no? I mean, but okay, so my suggestion
Well-
box is the suggestion box in the kitchen, so everybody can dump something in there. And when you all have huddles or meetings, they should say, these are the things that came in the suggestion box.
Right, we
Well,
saw
this
we
is-
have a
that.
millennial focus group, so we
Social
speak on behalf
School
of
shall
all
have
the
that.
young people
Okay.
within the branches and how they feel about certain situations.
Okay, and is there any change?
The change is being made.
No, but I mean culturally, do you see, like I say, we talk a lot. I sit here, I tell you all these things, you all tend to have 10 more people and we talk. We great at talking, but we very, very bad at
Changes
acting.
weren't being made in the
Yeah,
past
yeah,
because-
we reactive, we ain't proactive. If this building fall down now, then they can test all the alarms and then they can test the water sprinkler system and the contingency plan, not before. They ain't gonna check it every year before the building collapse, right?
That's the government, that's the country, no?
No, right, so that's what I say. We have to change the status quo. We gotta stop accepting this low level of service. This low level of customer service, why you have a suggestion box and no meeting I've been to for 3 months. We even discussed one thing or just nothing was in the box was appropriate?
Or some kind of-
Nothing? You telling me now you change, you make a change. No longer, you all have a whole millennial group in the back. You all have a whole millennial group, right? So I imagine they have a problem with the way they are treated and what have you. So who documenting this and who following what this group for?
There's one manager specifically appointed as an advisor. So we would go to him and then he would take it to all of the managers and the executives. So before he takes it, what we speak about, what the millennials speak about, he would tell us his feedback on certain things and how we could change certain things and what possibly wouldn't change.
Okay,
So he gives his feedback and we give ours.
but you do see a difference.
We do see a difference.
Okay, all right, very good. But nobody else. But all these companies have them, right?
But we don't see ours. If they don't think it's,
Suggestion box?
if they don't think it was relevant, you wouldn't know it gets thrown inside there.
But that's what I mean. Think about it. You've been to this company more than a year. In a year, you haven't seen nothing out the suggestion box relevant.
They
Nothing.
sent out an email once with that, like someone made a suggestion and they're gonna go through with it,
So you have to say,
but they didn't say what it was. And then because the person didn't put their name, they said they didn't recognize
It's
it.
supposed to be confidential. Like you don't supposed to. That's why you have a box in the kitchen so anybody can walk up and.
Social had it, and when they had, they'll call like, either they had like sales and service meeting, whatever they did, they would, before, let's say, it's the sales and services the end of this month, by the last Monday in that month, the managers, so supervisors will pull, they came with a suggestion box, and they would actually make, announcement, they wouldn't disclose who it is, because the person, it was anonymous, and then they would give an actual time to actually, it's something that they could fit, because ain't everybody, some people are petty for the days that they would put it in, some people are put stuff that's realistic. And I know they also had a hotline too,
Okay.
that you could have called. So
Okay.
they worked towards changing some of the things that needed to be
Change.
changed
Okay.
in their suggestion
Oh,
box.
okay, very good culture if that's what they did.
Mhm.
Okay, what about an employee opinion survey?
Social and that too.
well, they have a no for the so they say the numbers could be.
I can be honest, from where I came from, I always felt as if, listen, they have manager for everything. I could honestly say. If they have a manager for health and fitness, they have a manager for this. So honestly, I can say that Scotia actually, I don't know if it's still the same now, because I've been going there for 3 years now. But they have things like that in place for every single thing that goes on. I can be honest, they actually, they are very concerned. I don't know if it changed when I was there, they were concerned. Scotia lived by this, work, life, money, balance, both. That was their mantra for staff. So everything to them was centered around making sure the staff was comfortable, they wanted to know what you needed, stuff like that. Even for instance, if you were pregnant, Scotia had a actual, again, it was this program, if you were expecting, you sent, they would send it to this company, I can't remember the name because like I said, been gone, and this company actually send you a box of stuff for your baby.
Free stuff.
Free stuff, I'm talking about, they send you diapers, they send you baby clothes, stuff like that. So they were really cultured and centered on the well-being of their staff. I know, I see say that. Because they had like I said, they have managers for, when I was there, I felt myself like, Lord, why I need a manager for health and business? Why do they need a manager? You know, because you felt like they were overstaffed, but they were really cultured in their staff.
Okay.
What was going on in their well-being.
Go back to the first page and tell me the definition for organization. That's why. At the bottom.
Systematic grouping of people brought together comes with some specific.
That's what the organization is.
Yeah,
Your
they
most
were.
valuable asset. If your people are not well, your organization is not well. And so that should tell you the number of organizations in the Bahamas that are not well. Because everybody going to work burnt out. Everybody coming from work burnt out. Everybody praying for Friday.
They didn't care about us.
Okay, so now we gotta care about ourselves. Now we gotta change this culture. Now we gotta go in there and pour out in ourselves into somebody else. Because it starts with one or two where they agree. You all two agree that listen, we can change the culture in here. We can make this a desirable place to work. We can identify the issues. Okay? In the absence of a suggestion box that work in or an employee opinion survey, how do you now, as a supervisor, what keeps you under control? What keeps you under control? Hmm? Yeah, because you have your manager, but suppose your manager have 30 of your supervisors, right? And that's what has happened. Or at least 5, eh? You have somebody managing like 5 supervisors and you all sit down with your manager and give an update. Right? It don't work like that, no? But this employee opinion survey and this suggestion box should be tied to your performance appraisal. Okay? And if your staff falling down every single day, or they dragging the work, or they unmotivated, you ain't doing what you're supposed to do.
You can't
You
get
are there to
the PA.
yeah. You there to provide solutions.
But you might care because you just replaced them.
Okay.
I'm paying
No,
lower
but then
salary.
that's
Jesus,
you
I'm
were
paying
the
lower
supervisor.
salary.
Let me tell you
Next one would
something.
come in.
I
If
don't
my
know.
staff ain't performing, how I can
Let me tell you
send them
something.
to the PA?
When I hire somebody, I made an investment. You know what it is to start from scratch. I want to succeed. You know what it is to train somebody over. And you in training mode, like when you go operate efficiently.
I didn't do that like 3 times. Train someone to come in and make more money.
No. Don't worry about it. Whatever for you. Don't worry about the more money
I
than
still
you.
doing that.
No, but whatever for you, for you. But what could be for you, could be for you.
Until I done my supervisor, I'm not doing it anymore.
No. You have to show
Okay, so
up.
when you become a supervisor now?
No, because no. I'm not really a supervisor, but I oversee a department from my supervisor.
So what's somebody a staff that you got to do?
One of my, I don't have staff.
No, but if you
So
had
what would you
staff.
have for the
No,
position?
I could train the ones who come in into my department, but the set who come in to be
No.
like.
So
No,
what's
no,
the
it's
one you
not.
train?
Where your policy say that?
I
No,
told her I
no.
can't do it because she
No,
dumps a lot
miss.
on me, so I don't have
Do
time
you
to do
work?
it.
Do you work for whatever your name is in code? You don't work for yourself. You work for an institution that has values, that has a mission statement, that has a
They have a
motto.
whole training department.
Yeah, that's okay.
But that comes
That-
into
but
my
that's-
work and the things that I have to do.
But that's okay. That's
You
a
can have a supervisor.
the
And
wrong
it's on me
attitude
when I
is
go
no.
trying.
We gotta get away from this attitude that I ain't doing no more. No.
I can't do it no more. I'm just
No.
I can never
Yeah,
say
yeah.
department if it's a fee.
And mentoring thing.
So I truly
You have to. No. You have to find a solution. You find a solution. You use the suggestion box. You make a difference. You know, I ain't doing nothing no more.
Personally,
Then
I
go
feel
home.
like that suggestion box, in a sense, should not be tied to your performance review, because a lot of times when customers complain, it's really not the employee's fault. So
So, in the event that a customer.
No, this internal now, not the customer one. No, this internal for staff only. Yeah, suggestions on how to make us come to work happy, how to develop the culture, how to change the environment and create some ambience, you know, make us feel welcome, rather than, oh God, you all gotten all the way to the door. And then when you walk out like,
get sick in my
yes,
as soon
you'd
as
be
I
sick.
hit
You'd be
coming off
sick.
of Shirley Street,
Coughing.
turning to the plaza, I just get.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna reach to work yet. I literally just entered the plaza. And like, from I realized Saturday evening that shoot is gonna be Sunday.
Right, so, and sweetie, don't feel bad, that's 90% of us.
That's
sick.
because
Don't
so
make let me come on
many
vacation. I'm like,
extreme
mother,
conditions has
We
become the norm.
accept it, sweetie, we accept the extreme conditions.
We need
We
a job,
accept-
like,
Yeah, but,
like-
okay, so you need
You
the
don't need a
job,
job.
and just like I say, just how you was creative, and now you have some tips on how to, with the small budget, keep your staff motivated. You need a creative solution. You need a creative solution so everybody doesn't feel burnt out. We will
Sometimes
always
you
be
can't-
overworking and underpaid.
How do you
We will
avoid-
always
how
be
do
that
you
way.
avoid it? Because
You
in an
can't.
instance-
You can't.
Sometimes they don't
Be
smile
your
like
own
that.
boss.
Let me tell you why, because it's a mental thing, because I was making $25 more, and I was so focused on that it was only $25, I couldn't even save that $25. Right? Right? And then I had a whole experience where I got $10,000 more.
I wasn't happy.
And I just couldn't do it. And I was like, Lord, what is wrong with me? This was my goal. Like, I achieved my goal, and then I realized
You
that
still wasn't happy?
the money and everything. That's when I learned that, you know, but the success is more than just having a lot of money.
Or I try to-
No, you say that, but when you get it, I had a choice. I could have stayed, but I could have stayed in misery. I could have stayed in, you know, and going back to, everybody thought I was crazy. Going back to the Royal Bike was the best decision I had made. You know, because I wouldn't have survived. I wouldn't have survived in those days.
I was like, I'm in that soldier.
That's all I
So me on where I went, even though I made more.
Yeah, just with the explicit or the mental language. See, we don't put a price tag on that. But when you depressed and you weigh down and you dragging in the
You
wood,
overperform.
yeah, you
go
overperform.
out.
No,
And you're like,
So, thankfully, I was able to go
I
back.
see that kind of gate, I'm like,
Yeah, but so we gotta change that. By the end of this class, we gotta get out of us, whatever, and be thankful that we have a job and try to make our space as comfortable as possible. Like I say, I had
many people ready to sit in your
16
seat.
16 years, I could say it was half and half. But now I'm more mature.
You appreciate it.
I appreciate, I love Royal Bank. I indebt to Royal Bank. I mean, they gone down, the service has gone down to the ground from what we were trained. But, yeah, it's completely out the door. It was nothing, I couldn't supervise in a time like this. But back in my day, I have a great appreciation for the bank now. You know, I accomplished a lot there. Yeah, without them, I wouldn't have a mortgage. So my children, or go to private school, or my two of my children graduating now, one graduated, or all of that because of Royal Bank. So I'm really thankful, and like I say, some of my best friends came out of Royal Bank. So all of those type of things I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me. And the things in my, I said to myself, like, you know, this is, I before you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, you know what? I ain't taking nobody's stress. Let me pay off with your pension, whatever, that's it. Let me go someplace where I just go to work.
There's no
I
place,
guess
sweetie.
we-
There's no place. I'm telling
Peace of
you.
mind, because
There's no.
Well, I guess
Let me
that's
tell you
what
where that
we
place
really-
is. Right in here. There is
Yeah.
no place. The devil waits for
Any
you
job
on
you go on, it'll
every
be the
job.
same thing.
There's some
Someone
place
will
you
want
have
you
to
your own
wait for
business.
you. If you have your own
job.
business, you have to hire people. And that's what I said. There's no place. That place is in you.
When you get a mental language, let me stress over my own stress, not other people's stress.
You might get in a better position. I got in a better position financially, but it was so much more headache that it was unbearable.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I say, so that place is right in you. wherever you go, there will be a devil waiting, there will be somebody to bother you, there will be too much work, or that's life, Sweetie. Think about life.
People always think that because every job I go on is like, I would leave, like, once it didn't happen to my standards, I'm leaving out, I don't care.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have no job stability and with it. So that's life. Think about relationships.
Every job
You
go on,
have
gonna be
80%.
someone
We
like
probably
you.
looking for 100% at work. It isn't possible.
That
You're gonna
can't
be
sit
someone
with
like
me.
your mom, every job
Yeah,
you
but
go on.
sweetie, it have to. It is
Because
you.
everybody's
As I got old, I realized is I gotta have that internally. I have to have that peace internally. I have to show up and say, okay, all this paper up to the roof, I can do as much as possible, and then the rest will do tomorrow. You have to organize yourself and plan and same thing. Organize. What it say? You have to plan, organize, lead, and control. See, we don't control it. We just looking at the paper and we say, no, the paper up to the sky. I can't do it. I can't do it. And so already you depressed. You depressed, and then you know more coming tomorrow, and then somebody could be absent, somebody pregnant, somebody sick, some vacation. That's life. But we don't apply life principles to our work. We expect there's an organized company. No, there's a group of people trying to make this work, right? And so therefore, we don't live in perfect. So find that peace within. There's no job. No job.
Even if you turn over,
You let it, you allow it. No, you allow it. You allow it. And then another thing, like I had a conversation yesterday, we go from one war zone to the next. You have to create paradise at home. You have to have an outlet. You can't sit to the bar till 10 o'clock in the night and then go to the people's job in the morning and expect to perform. If it's only me that is doing it, then it's only me. No, for true. Straight from work, and not that they are alcoholics. They're looking for an out. They just need to unwind. They can't deal with the stress from the children. They can't deal with the nagging wife. And so therefore, they stay out till the wife sleep and the children sleep. And now I can call in and hopefully no, I can sleep. Right? So stop creating war zones. You have a war zone at work. When you reach from work, you on the phone, this is what happened with Coconut Day. Right? And then you reach home and the house ain't clean, the food ain't cooked. So you go from war to, you could go to Afghanistan and win a whole war. That's how trained you are for war. Okay? Create a paradise. Create a space. Unwind. Make yourself happy within, and life ain't perfect. Say, okay, Lord, this is the obstacle today. I come to work for you. It's the only way.
But then some people are so miserable, you can't even let them get
People
to
are
you.
that's the biggest problem in the world. People. And they want to come take their misery out on you. And this is why we need to train ourselves to pass this on. Sweetie, don't take this misery out on me. Thank God for life. I thankful I wake up this morning. Yesterday my arm was hurting all day. But today, you know what I mean? And when you don't have health, you don't have nothing. And all of this causes what? Stress. And stress is the #1 killer, not cancer, not all these different things. So stop it.
You know, there's not, I just said, you in this great place, right? It's like nobody ever see you sick or whatever, right? Persons have this mentality that, okay, you can't be sick, you leave work today, fine.
Why do you care?
Then the next
Why
day,
the devil has a job to do? Let the devil do his
that was
job.
the manager.
Why do you, sweetie, listen to me. Like I say, I worked at Royal Bank for 16 years. I had people who, we don't live in perfect. It's just like the Lord said, there'll be 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine. They are famine years. But guess what? That's when you will produce. When you do your best, it's birth out of pain, you know. It's birth out of conflict. So they are years for you to learn a lesson, to take you to the next level. Because you know better than to treat anybody this way. You have to do whatever, you have to work your best because you got to get out this department. You see what I mean? And so that's what Jesse is in. Okay, so it's up here. It ain't the job, it's you. It was me. Okay?
It's me too.
It's all us.
I was
Okay.
it's me, but it's
So stop it and train your people to come to work happy. Stop coming to war. Stop coming for battle. Show up and work for the Lord. It ain't gonna be good.
But you know, you're saying that I have supervisors that they won't be happy with it. So
Don't work. That's all right.
you gotta be-
That's all right. Go for that $25 and then it'll increase to $50. Then you might get $2,000. But go for it. You can't be discouraged. You can't say, I don't want more work and less pay. You can't say all these things, right? Do it. That's why we're here, because we want to achieve our goals, okay? That's like basketball, like you have to train every day. You play this game and you still lose, right? You need the whole entire team. If these 5 players don't agree, what gonna happen in the basketball game? And every year they have to come back, right? And everybody on the team don't make the same amount of money, and everybody on the team, like think about how LeBron feels. Everybody know LeBron, right? Think about how LeBron feels. He have to carry the whole team, or Stephen Curry. Think about how they feel, but they can't sit down and say, "Oh my God, I got to carry this. Only me one."
Well, shoot, when you're making all the millions of dollars, you
Yeah, but he didn't always make. See, that's just it. He didn't make that million.
I know.
Okay, because
He ride the bench. I know they ride the bench for a while.
for years and years. Okay, but it still takes the team if everybody ain't on track.
Yeah.
You won't go win this. We only win that championship ring.
I needed this word to take back.
Good, good. Receive
I
it.
need this word in my heart.
Yes, put it in your heart and know for true. It's a whole team and you don't get to pick the players. Okay, but yeah, that ring on the line.
Here's some oil with you.
That ring on the line, and all of us ain't gonna get LeBron after he done carry the whole team. He could get a little bit more, but he deserves it. And everybody who do a little bit more deserve it. But as you play, you don't get nothing till you win the ring. You don't get nothing for being the second runner-up. What is it? You don't get nothing for it. You get something for winning the. You know what I mean? That's what you get it for. You cannot do it alone. No man is an island. You need a team. Okay? And you're only as strong as your weakest link. When you have a group of people, you have high, medium, and low. If you are an effective supervisor, that low person, if you don't like them, because normally we don't like the low performer, you know. We just can't stand the low performer because they operating at the top of their ability.
I like them though.
You like them, eh? Okay. So another thing that will help you as a supervisor is when they hire now, you know, they doing personality tests and stuff like that. Any of y'all ever see the personality test?
Negative.
You're supervising why HR need to have the personality test?
Then you know who they are.
You need to have.
But you should know.
Atlantis one is 45 pages. Yes. Y'all never apply online to Atlantis? I'm complaining, but CIBC, you better sit there with a smile on your face. You ever applied to Atlantis? Oh, 45 pages, right?
I can't remember.
Okay, but, right, and HR has it. How beneficial is that in HR?
Even
How beneficial?
even our supervisors, they don't care enough to even find out what really what personality. They just look at you. You may be a little bit aggressive or a little sulky, or you may just be the attitudey.
Yeah.
That's just some people. But then even in that attitudiness or that aggressiveness, they don't care enough to find out. Okay, one, why is that person attitudey or aggressive? Is that just their nature, or is because of their condition or whatever? They don't care enough to find that out, and then go further and say, okay, well, how can I get this attitude with attitude to do what I needed to do?
But
Or
the thing
perform
about
in
it
that
is,
kind of way.
with behaviors, those, when you say it like that, certain behaviors should be rectified right away, whether it's your personality or not. Because we are not here to deal with your attitude. I mean, you work amongst people, you're an adult. You're here to do a job. So certain attitudes and behaviors shouldn't even be given a chance, because then an issue where persons come into an organization and they are on probation. And we are supervisors have to do a probationary report. It's fine if you struggle in an area of grasping what you are here to do, as opposed to just having a bad behavior. That needs to be fixed right away.
But even as simple as even like you said, addressing it. Some don't even care to address it.
Yeah, there's no coaching. People don't know. No, see, that's just it. That's your job. You can't say you can't take it. This your team. And so you say, you know, because everybody is at some value. You operating efficiently on this, you sandwich it. You operating efficiently on this end. However, I know it's a bit of an attitude. What causes it? Or what you know what I mean? This is where the coaching and the training comes in. You can't just say, I ain't Miss Bullet today because Miss Bullet know it all and she have too much attitude.
Some people, but you might try, like you said, you may know it all and have that kind of, people may stick, okay, she have a bad attitude, but it doesn't necessarily be an attitude problem, it just may be like a tick that you don't understand, so it's about trying to understand.
Yeah, but see, now that you're here, if you will approach the person, or if it's you, you will then go and say, if you ever wonder why I act this way, this is the reason why. And help me through this. You know, remember I said ask for help. But you don't just see something like, you can't hire. I can look at your hiring record, and if you hire 10 people and they, nobody work out, I think something wrong with you. Just like if you go from job to job to job to job and you don't have no job stability, what happened? You know what I mean? So, if you notice, they going through this whole process, they fill out 45 pages, they get hired, and now, no, you make that person will not come ready-made, just like a boyfriend.
But even
You have to add the cake, you have to add the eggs, you have to stir up the cake, you have to put a little bit of sugar, and then you bake it.
Even with
That's
those
what you're supposed to
personality
do.
tests, persons could manipulate it because if I know I have to take
That's
this
alright, they pass
test,
it.
whatever,
They hired, they right there.
Okay, these questions I never seen.
From the day they walk in, if they don't work, you know how much it costs? You know how much it costs that company? That's your bonus. The more people you invest your time in and they flush down the toilet, that's your bonus going down the drain. Remember I talk about implicit and explicit cost. The cost. Okay, that's me too. The cost, no. I got exhaust every avenue with this person. Once they pass HR, and HR is supposed to be stringent, they supposed to do background checks or whatever, sweetie, you gotta work. Or I can send you somewhere else. When you don't work with me, go try with somebody else. And then if 2 or 3 people don't work, then you go. But just an investment. No, and see, that's just said a lot of times, if it's not my way, you wrong. Right? If you don't do it my way, then you're doing it wrong. Right? You have to know how to deal with different types of people. Right? Different types of people. I had somebody and here might be 7-day Adventist. Okay, and that drove me crazy because Fridays, especially a government payday Friday, that person have to get off at 2 o'clock because they got a balance and they got to be out before sundown and whatever time it is now, and it's daylight now, but when it's the next one, he gotta go. He taking his lunch hour, then he gotta go 2 o'clock. Then I had a Muslim. Okay, he had to pray 6 times a day, and only because I believe in prayer, I was like, Lord, I need to pray once a day. But I had to let him off the lineup to go and pray.
So you had to, they hired him.
He was excellent.
Like leave the premises?
No, he would go in the kitchen. He had this sheet. He would lay down and do like this, and it spook everybody out. But
you understand that.
listen, we live in the Bahamas. Okay? And I don't know who in here, I don't discriminate, but the LGBTQ, when you see a man or a woman come to your job with a full bed, what will you do? A woman with a full bed, a mustache,
To work?
and everything, and go into the men's bathroom, what will you do?
But that shouldn't be allowed.
No, that shouldn't.
No, I just saying, not
No discrimination, no discrimination, workforce diversity. Royal Bankers have a coming out day.
Say coming where?
Yes.
Say what?
If you,
Say what? Who want to come out there?
Royal Bankers have a coming out day.
Oh, that's from Canada, that's a Canadian
That's a
bank.
Canadian thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
Canada's
I do believe this
LGBT
new.
Central.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
this new guy who they
Never
get
been
now
Canada.
is one of them.
They have a
Yeah.
rainbow crossing in Canada.
If you decide that you was in the closet at work and your coworkers didn't know, and today is the day, coming out that you go and tell your supervisor that I am LGBTQ. But see, that's just it. We work with each other, but we don't know who is who, so don't discriminate. And that does not stop somebody from performing. Right? So you ought to be ready for it. Because in chapter, in another chapter, normally the whole paper is on workforce diversity. Okay? That's
Could be
you have
diverse.
to stop it. The person is not wrong just because they don't do what you do. Okay? And I've seen so many young boys get fired just because they were too,
Yeah.
what you call it?
That ain't fair.
Yeah, it's not fair.
No, it's not fair, but I mean like a full-on boy, to have as a woman.
It ain't tricky, sweetie.
No,
If
okay.
they say no Christians, if they say no Christians or no black people, is it tricky?
To me,
If they say no black people,
step and move fast.
I mean, in
no black people,
But just,
what that is, no black people to work at RBC,
That's discrimination, they're racist.
no Jamaicans, no Haitians, no,
But that's
what that
obviously-
is. No, I just saying, she's saying it's tricky.
No, I mean it's tricky in
No, they don't
regards to,
discriminate.
okay, how you said that you would give the guy who's a Muslim time to pray or
Mhm.
whatever. But you take it as it is, he take it as it is, but I could be crazy and I'd be like, okay, he getting breaks 6 times a day, why can't I get
That
breaks
ain't your
of
business.
7 times?
But that ain't
Yeah,
your
yeah.
business.
That ain't my
It ain't
business,
your
or that
business.
ain't my
It
religion.
ain't your
But
business.
it could cause
And when it
other
costs,
employees to feel
then
some
right.
type of way.
Well, I
That's
will
what
say,
mean.
we are equal
But let me tell you what
opportunity
mine is.
employer.
issue, they too small.
Mind your business,
No,
because
because
you got one girl was going to a divorce, and we had to give her extra time. What was the difference with him doing something for his religion? People just have, some
You
people
get
have
your
young
rights in
children.
different things.
Listen to me, everybody is have an
But
issue. We believe in fairness.
break.
That's what
Okay.
it is.
People that smoke, that's,
the
smokers.
Once you have the smokers
Yeah.
away from the building,
This
it's
is what
like
I'm saying.
10 or 15
This
minutes.
this what I trying to get at, right? As a supervisor, how do you not let others look at that as favoritism? Because I can say
That's religion.
I can say, oh,
okay.
okay, well, just because I don't have children, that means I can't get time off.
What you need it for?
What you need it for though? I'm not saying that you can't take time off,
No,
but
no, no.
if, okay, let's say for instance, you don't have a child and this lady has 2 children. She don't have someone call and say she don't have anyone to pick up her children, and she come to me, because I believe in you telling me things in advance, and she comes to me as a supervisor and say, hey, Miss Wright, this month or whatever coming up, the car down or whatever, and I only one car we have, I have to go and now pick up my children. I know normally my lunch break is 12, but I wanted to know if you can make an exception for me
To pick up
to
kids,
pick up
yeah.
that child. Why must I make an exception for you? That's it, because you have some people who may come and feel, you may be the one who feel obligated that you need to go 3 o'clock to go pay care of the Bahamas. Right? And I have a staff here who has to go pick up their children. It's not favoritism. It's something I'm being realistic. I may not even be a supervisor of children, but I have a heart. I would not
It's
allow
called the
my
human
staff
factor
who have
is
two
what we
children
want to
schoolyard
put.
over you where you
This
always
what we
say,
want to
"Hey,
put.
like, hey, let me
This
put
what
a
we
line
wanna
for
put
you."
into the offices now, the human factor.
call it the lens.
Okay, y'all too, save that, we gotta get through chapter 1, save that till we get the diversity, but we cannot discriminate. It's equal opportunity, and we cannot say no Muslims, no Buddhists, no, you know what I mean?
But if you have children, you can't work here.
Yeah, if you have children, you can't work here, or, you know, if
When
you're
did I
gay,
know that, I know
we
it's
don't
supposed to
accept you.
allow was like, if you and someone, if they found that you and someone were dating, if they
You can't-
found
you
out,
can't work
they
the same
they
brand.
transfer you.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
husband and wife can't work together or
Yeah.
stuff, and then they're in
Yeah.
a relationship.
Yeah.
They transfer you,
Yeah.
or they don't accept.
Yeah, but y'all keep diversity on your mind, because like I said, that's one of the essay questions that we normally on the exams. You have to accept them all. Okay? No, everybody is need a little help here or there. You balance your team to make sure you can tell me your best employee got children to pick up and you mad? And just the person who's staying back, who
Okay.
doing all the extra work,
Okay.
who don't want no
Okay.
overtime. I only need but 15 more minutes to get in school yard and come back, and that's who you have
And
a
they
problem
probably
with.
make them turn in the bike to stay in the kitchen, because mine is.
Listen to me, 4 children used to be under my desk.
Okay.
4. I was like, don't move, don't open your mouth. I had popcorn, candy. And guess what? 2, because this girl used to leave her children in the car. I say, sweetie, you on your way to jail. Bring them children, put them here, and I say, don't move. I say, if my door open, don't crack.
Wow.
Okay? And she didn't even like me. But them children
People
was in
use-
the sit in the car. They was in the sit in the car and expected that.
This is the matter of
Okay.
that.
As much work as I got.
She understand to this day, if she see me, she turn her head. I don't know. Back to the book. But y'all keep diversity, no discrimination. This why we here, this why we need to be trained. Okay? Do you really wanna be a supervisor? Okay,
It is. Oh,
my book
This is us
different.
asking the question.
Yeah, no, this is a question in the book.
Well,
Page 13, do you really wanna be a supervisor?
I just wanna know, I just wanna.
Okay, who read now? Do you really wanna be a supervisor? Because we need to read this. And then we talked about the competencies, there are three. It's technical, interpersonal, and conceptual, okay? You need to ensure that you know those three. Just the definition now,
yeah.
conceptual, technical, it's right on the page. You,
Oh, you
the
ain't
next
talking
page, one page over.
Your page, that's it.
14 and 15 in my book, but you're
Well,
really
okay.
ain't even look in this book?
I didn't have mine.
Okay,
Supervisory competencies.
you all don't see what is a technical competence? What is an impersonal competence?
Yes, four.
Okay.
The book is on page 16.
Oh yeah, 4 and political, yeah. Okay, so make sure we can go through those, and so we know those definitions. By the end of the class, you should be able to tell me about an experience where you use your technical competence or your interpersonal competence or your, right? But right now we just on definitions. Okay, but let's just read if we really want to be a supervisor. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you. Cooper done do a part. Cooper done get a 10 points.
The fact that you're learning about supervision indicates you're interested in understanding how to supervise people. What is it about supervising people that excites you? Is it the fact that you can help an organization achieve its goals? Is it the challenge of supervising others, directing their work that interests you? Is it the fact that supervision may lead to a management position in hopes of climbing the career ladder? Whatever your reasons, you need a clear picture of what lies ahead. Supervisory positions are not easy.
Say it again.
Even if you've been a superstar as an employee, this is no guarantee that you will succeed as a supervisor. The fact that you are capable of doing excellent work is a big plus, but there are many other factors to consider. You need to recognize that supervising others may mean longer work hours. You are often on the job before your employees and leave after they do. Supervising can literally be a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week job. Now that's not to be interpreted as being on the job every hour of the day. But when you accept the responsibility of supervising others, you really never can get away from the job. Things happen and you'll be expected to deal with them. No matter when they happen or where you are, it is not unheard of to get a call while you're on vacation if problems arise. Organizational policy may require pairs and subordinates to contact you via cell phone or wireless handheld device.
That's the
And we have-
contingency plan, right? You have to call everybody in your department, so you have to give them your telephone number, where you live, in case of emergency, all of that. Okay.
In the event of any unforeseen event. How was someone in the organization able to contact you during your getaway? You are probably required by organizational policy to provide emergency contact information and to call in periodically to see how things are going. You also need to recognize that as a supervisor, you may have seemingly endless pile of paperwork to complete. Although organizations are continually working to eliminate much of their paperwork, a lot remains. This may include employee work, schedules, production costs, estimates, inventory documentation, or budget and payroll matters. Another matter of importance that you should consider is the effective supervisor's job may have on your pay. In some organizations, a raise in your base pay when you become a supervisor may not translate into higher annual earnings. How so? Consider that as a supervisor, you are generally no longer eligible for overtime pay or commission. Instead, you may get compensatory time off. When you are an operative employee, your organization is legally required to pay you a premium rate, typically time and a half for overtime work. That may not be true when you become a supervisor. If you get a $6,000 raise when you become a supervisor, but earned $6,500 last year in overtime, you are actually earning less as a supervisor. This is something that you need to discuss with your organization before making your decisions to become a supervisor. What are the previous paragraphs really saying? They're telling you to think about why you want to supervise. Managing others can be rewarding. The excitement is real, and so are the headaches. You need to understand exactly what your motives are for becoming a supervisor, and what trade-offs you're willing to make to become the best supervisor you can be.
Right. So when you become the supervisor, just think of it as like your, what it is, years of fasting and farming years, and then when you become management, then think of it as years of plenty, because really it's only training ground to get to the next step. Okay, you will be overwhelmed, you will have a lot of work, and typically in most institutions, people that supervise get paid a tad bit more, the $25 more for y'all. Okay, because it's very, very difficult to deal with 9 or 10 different personalities and effectively treat them well and get them to perform, and that's how you become effective, and that's why you become successful. Go ahead.
How do you deal with, employees or an individual who they clearly have like personal issues and they ain't really upset about you or the work, like they just dealing with their own
Things at home.
personal life.
Mhm.
And it's like affecting their job. There's not much you can do because they're not happy internally. You can't like make the environment happy for them, like they just have to go through
Right, whatever they go
deal
through.
with.
But you have to compassionately help them through it. I mean, to me, you provide solutions. Like they say, you never get off. One person decided that she wanted to, because I was divorced, she felt like she wanted to give me her number at home, and I don't even do good on the phone and stuff like that. I don't do good with females entirely. And she wanted to talk to me all night about her husband and give us some advice about being divorced. Very personal. We wasn't cliquey, but as a super, she reached out to me for help. And so, I gave her my number. She wanted to come to my house, and it took like 2 years.
Oh my.
But she got through it, and then she thanked me for going, that far with her. So, if this is a good employee, and see, that's how I space everything, or if it's just your charity for the year. You have to go above and beyond. That's what the work expects you to do. So this will be a case where you go above and beyond, and you go there and you do some research and you Google some little motivational stuff. Perhaps if your employer don't have an employee hotline, get somebody to help, because you see the signs. A lot of people out there hurting, people coming into work and shooting 6 people, people going into schools and having mass shootings, or they committing suicide, right? And if people saw the signs and nobody did nothing, right? And so therefore, you see the signs. So it's just how much compassion you have in you to extend yourself beyond work and get this person some help. And perhaps your medical program, you all have medical, right? There's cover like for counseling and stuff like that, sometimes up to 80%. And so, or recommend it to a church, invite it to, if you know, you'll have. No, but you see, that's just, see, every time there's something wrong, we just find a reason why we can't do it. You need to know that within your conscience, you need to know that I saw something wrong, I did my best to assist, and there's nothing else I could do. So if something is to the detriment, you could feel good about yourself that your human factor was there. Because like I said, we dealing with human beings, and a lot of times we just don't care. Come to work, do your work, do what you're supposed to do, but you're dealing with somebody with feelings, and let me tell you something, one day it will be you. One day it will be you, and one day it was me. Okay? And you know what Royal Bank did? They gave me 2 weeks off with pay. They said, because you need this time off, and you need this money. My whole life had changed. I had to adopt some children. I had a death in my family, and my whole entire life changed. Okay? They gave me 2 weeks off. I mean, they gave me counseling. I almost felt like I wasn't at work. I used to have to go to work, but half of the time, I went to a counselor or somebody to talk to. They brought in the children that I adopted. They counseled them. They really helped me through a transitional period in my life. And that's why I so in depth to Royal Bank. It was really my supervisor caring, and the department, even the people who didn't like me, just coming together and say, listen, this could have been any of us that had this there. Okay, so you see something, offer help, even if it's like buy a book. Or a lot of times people are open to you when you say, I had this little problem, like how I could talk about the debt. Back then I couldn't even talk about it. I had this debt and I adopted some kids and it was very, very hard for me. My salary didn't increase. My house didn't get bigger. I didn't have the space or whatever, and we had to make it do. I had to come to work every day and still take care of them. Royal Bank could have said, I don't care. Come to work, do your work, and that don't have nothing to do with us. But they saw that in me, that I wasn't functioning. And so they was like, come, let me do this part for you so you don't have such a hectic day. Because it could take you a couple of weeks to adjust to your new life at home. You know, so that from that experience, anybody who had a problem, that's why I gotta keep torturing under my desk. Because I know these people were dedicated employees, they needed their job, but they also had to take care of their families. And it wasn't taking nothing from me. I could still do my work, and it was only for 1 hour, you know. You pick up the children, you go to lunch, 3 o'clock, you come back 4, you getting off 5. What was 1 hour for a good employee, for a dedicated person, for somebody who was loyal? You know, but we just don't care, and we don't have time for that.
They probably did that too, because like you said, because you were loyal. If you were someone who just disgruntled and every time, like I said before, just going home,
Split down the
they
middle
wasn't
now.
gonna, they wasn't gonna send you home with 2 weeks for
Listen,
pay and
split down the middle.
so.
These people hated me, and people talked about me and say, well, why she getting all of this and whatever. And then there was people who said, mind your business. So you can't, when you need help, the important thing is that you get help. Okay? Is it worth somebody's life? No, that's why I say, if this person go take their life, or if this person probably really hurting and just probably is go and war when they reach home too. They come into work as a war, they home as a war, there's no outlet. There's a ticking time bomb.
You're saying a good employee,
You know?
sometimes.
Any employee,
Anybody.
because
Just-
anybody.
I don't know
They
why.
could be you.
Anybody, yeah, that's what I'm
Right, that's
saying.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not just
You
even
there?
just a good employee, because
You
even
pass
the,
through HR, I working with you. That's how I benchmark things. You pass through HR, you go into that 40-page personality test. I want to see that personality test so I can know how to deal with you. If we are friends, fine. If not, if you don't like me and I don't like you, you come to work and do your work, but I still have compassion. Because I want compassion. Okay, so help to the best of your
sometimes that'd be
ability.
the difference right there, though.
And you would be surprised. Sometimes people just
They
want
just
somebody
some
to
care.
care for them, to reach out. You know, because it
See,
don't
see,
seem like we in
loyalty don't
conducive
take much.
environments where everybody care about us as a loving environment. No. So you want that one person at work to know that, hey, come to work and just smile together. We can crack a little joke and we can make it through this day. Because it's tough. Life is really tough. Okay? So that's why we're here, to treat these people right, to change this culture, to create some ambiance at work, to be different. No more boss, no more do what I say, no more be working together. This a team, all us can get the same ring. Alright? A little bit more compassion. Okay, so we think about too, if you want to be the supervisor, again, it's your farming years, and then after you pass that test, it's a big test. When you pass that, then you move on. Okay?
How long should one stay in a supervisory position?
I don't believe in staying in a position more than 3 years.
Okay.
I go to a position, I learn it, and then I start to itch. I gotta go. I gotta move. But I catch on fast. So if you conquer that, it's time for you to go. If you don't conquer it, it ain't time for you to go. And if you don't going out, go lateral and learn something else.
Okay.
But that's my, but some people take longer to catch on. And then I a little bit more aggressive, so maybe
And
5
you have people who
years.
just complacent. You have some people who be in a teller, they've been in the bank 15 years and they've been there all their life. Some
Yeah,
people just-
but see, that's what I said, we used to call it complacent. I had somebody on the teller line up for 35 years at Royal Bank, okay? But she had her own business. She had her own business, She used to do hair on the side, plus now she has an old folks home. And her parents were old, so that's how she didn't, the teller job in the bank is the easiest job. People hate it because you're dealing with cash and people, but tomorrow you have no work. You finish your day, your work, every single day as a teller. There's nothing for tomorrow. Every day you start fresh. Every other position, that paper from yesterday, there to add for tomorrow, and it rolls over and over and over. Teller, you balance, you home, no worries. So people looked at her and said she was complacent. No, she was smart. Because after, when she retired, she opened up a whole old folks home now and she makes a lot of money. Just off of keeping up. She retired as a teller. 25 or 35 years. But she would not move. I had people in my department who said, you know, I was training to be the supervisor, but I got married and I want to have kids and I need to pick them up from school. And I need to be there to do homework, and I need to balance every day and just go home and take care of my family. I don't wish to move further. And what Royal Bank did, after like 10 years, they then created entry-level teller, middle teller, and executive teller. So those people went to the executive level after a few years, and so they made, like, whereas entry level for teller once he was $16,000 to $25,000, they could have made up to $40,000, $50,000 as an executive level teller. But they didn't want to take on supervision. And then people just say, supervision ain't for me. Because I can tell you, to deal with 10 personalities and the opposition, that's a lot. That's enough to kill you right there. So know that this, the training is. Yeah. So we gotta change the way we think. Like, as you pay attention, you learn more, you know, and that's why I say we want to move away from this, you complacent, but you more taking care of your home, because what falling apart was we on these jobs at 10 o'clock in the night. Okay, so the moral fiber of the country in the dumps, right? Because all of us to work till 10 o'clock. All of us can't be to work till 10 o'clock every night. Some people gotta be home raising these children, because these children need supervision. Okay? So, think about it. Or you do it for a period of time, and then you stop. So, you normally have to make that money first. Then, try get a home, get married, and then get the children. But you know, we do everything in reverse. We have them babies first, then we get this big mortgage, then we look for husband. Yeah, so try to train ourselves to do things properly, and we'll be okay.
I just have one quick question. Explain a little bit. This paper, this is for the presentation in June?
Yeah, but I gave that early so you would know what is expected on Monday, just to give you some tips. You know, not that you could be graded.
Actually read.
Yeah, stand right here and share. Share, but you didn't get a paper? Which one, this one or? Yeah, okay. You will find out the homework and stuff, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's just up for you all to practice. Okay, good.
You have to read.
You have to stand right
Not
here
on
and
Monday.
tell us.
I mean the end.
The N1 too, yeah, you have to present. Yeah. And that's when the class will grade you on that.
The class grades you on both or one?
No, it's no grade for the one on Monday. The one on Monday was just practice, so, you know, we get to the point.
So
Right?
you don't grade you with this? We don't.
That's just to give you tips. The one in June, you get graded. The one on Monday, just to give you tip as to what we will be looking for. Practice. Yeah. Good, you all need practice? Because everybody like, why we have this? What we doing? Good? Okay, so our 4 competencies. So, technical, interpersonal, conceptual, and political. Who reading now? We could just read on the side those 4 and we can be done with chapter 1. And the last thing on chapter 1 before we done is skill. That's the definition of skill. Remember? We know the definition of supervisor, we know the definition of skill. So who reading now? My fair lady. Who keeping this class going? Thank you very much. Yes, your turn. You don't know I'll talk out, I know. So go, I think it's bottom of page 14, technical competency or competence. And you all know about these competencies, right? I know Royal Bank on our performance appraisal, they say pick out, like, you have to pick out, like,
Yeah,
10
competency.
competencies you're familiar or no, it's something new? Oh, okay, yeah, so probably just the Canadian banks. Y'all do it? No? Okay, so we'll see what these competencies
Yes, let me look at it, I didn't look at it to be
What
honest.
is technical competency? Top management is composed
No, you're
of
reading from the side. We on
Oh,
time now.
technical
Yeah.
competency, the ability to apply specialized knowledge or expertise. Interpersonal competency, the ability to work with, understand, communicate with, or motivate other people both individually and in groups. Conceptual competency, the mental ability to analyze and diagnose complex situations. Political competency, a supervisor's ability to enhance his or her power, build a power base, and establish the right connections in the organization.
Okay, and remember what I said earlier? Who gets the promotion? Which competency? To,
Oh, you mean
yeah, in the past, it was
Oh,
technical,
it was technical.
you know how to do everything, and so now you're next in line, you've been here the longest. But now, we're looking for those people who can train, who can mentor, who can deal with people, have more compassion, you know, and understand that we're dealing with real people and this is real life. Okay, because the organization is a group of people, but we forget what the people after, just do the word forget, but the people will never work. Okay, so let's talk about the definition for skill.
The ability to demonstrate a system and sequence of behavior that is functionally related to attaining a performance goal.
Yeah, please write down those definitions, because like I say, for some reason, people take it for granted. Oh, of course I can know what a supervision is. Oh, of course I can know what skill is, and then I get a whole bunch of fluff. I have to read the paper upside down to see if I can give half a point for the definition. So get the book's definition. Okay? Okay, so good. So what we learn in chapter 1? Whether or not we really want to be a supervisor. Some competencies that supervisors must
The
have.
roles that we play as supervisors.
Yeah, the roles. How they can dump everything on us and we have to make it work. How we have to deal with people and all these different behaviors. How we are no longer the boss. We are no longer in charge. It's no longer do it what I do, I say, or you do it wrong. Okay? But we can mentor, we can train, and we can coach. The different levels versus the functions. The functions is we plan, we organize. What else? We lead.
Lead, control,
Right,
which
right.
equals to achievement.
Right. Okay, and then what levels? Operative, entry level, supervisor. And what supervisors do, they don't manage anybody. They're the only managers that don't manage. And then, okay, good. So we get chapter 1. We good? Any questions? Good, very, very provocative discussion, very good, very good. Okay, good. But our discussions is hold us back, but this is what it's supposed to be. We read the chapter at home and then we just come and we talk about it.
Planning, organization, leading, and controlling is the functions of
The
supervisor.
functions.
Okay,
And the next one is levels.
level.
Operative, supervisor, middle management, top management. Okay? And like I said, a lot of people get confused on the exam with the definitions. And those two are normally worth like 8 points. Okay? So you don't want to mix it up. Alright? Okay, good. Good. So everybody read 23 and 24? Your mentoring thing. The top of it says read 22 and 24.
They only do
That's your business if you all didn't read it. You better read it before you start your project and your mentor. Everybody thought about who they picking as a mentee.
That's the name, fine again.
Yeah. Please read it before you pick the mentee so you know what you're doing. Please read the handout again before you pick the mentee so you now taking on somebody and you what they call it, winging it in. You don't even know what you're supposed to do. Then you go back to the book and say, oh yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. No, none of that. Okay? Alright, good. So let's skip straight over to leadership. Chapter 9. Let's see how far we can get. Okay, so we go on, of course we need the definition for leadership, right? And then after we get definition, there are various traits that they say leaders possess. We need to know what those traits are because we are all future leaders. And normally charisma is one of the traits, and that's big on the exam. They always want to talk about a charismatic leader and their traits and what they do and why and how. Okay, so they're the key points. Okay. Okay. Okay, so what nobody read chapter 9, eh? Okay, so we know what the definitions say for leadership. The ability an individual demonstrates to influence others to act in a particular way through direction, encouragement, sensitivity, consideration, and support. If, of course, you all know the exam will say, what's to define leadership, right? Put that in your own words, or remember this and understand it. Because like I say, right now it's just definitions. By the time you get to the midterm and the final, now give us an example of a charismatic leader, and we'll go through all of that. Okay? Okay. So some of the leadership traits are what type of qualities we look for when we say we have a leader.
Intelligence, charm, decisiveness, enthusiasm, strength, bravery, integrity, and self-confidence.
Very good, man. Very, very good. So do we possess those traits? We say that we are here, we are future leaders, this is what we want. You know, we want to go to the next level. Any traits? Any of these traits we possess? Any of these qualities? When they say tell us something about ourselves, we stand up and we generically speak and say, I am trustworthy, I am this, I am loyal, I am all of these things. Right? Okay, good night.
Everything except decisiveness for me.
Okay, so that's what you could work on by the end of this course. And not only you could do some research to be able to make better decisions, because as a leader, that's what you have to be able to do. Some positions in the bank, like I worked in operations, very operational, but and there was a manual and this is how you do everything. But when I got to compliance, decision based. You do research, you have to be able to make decisions. There's no, you could go refer to a prior case or a prior incident if you have that information, but compliance risk is decision based. So if you don't know how to make good decisions, don't practice and do a lot of research or work in some other departments first before you get to those decision based. And as you go further up the ladder, decision based. No manual to follow. Right? Who's saying yeah?
I was a
So, oh, okay, good. No, I thought you had an experience to tell us. Okay, fine. So, yeah, good. And then you have to be brave. You don't have to be cruel. There's certain ways to do things because when I was at Royal Bank, we closed down, you know, and all of us, we got a package and we all went home. And before we went home, Royal Bank brought in the counselors. They rewrote our resumes if we wanted them to, gave us some tips, posted all the positions out of the Guardian and the Tribune, posted all the positions out of Royal Bank, you know, but of course we wanted the money. So some of us went on interviews, all of us took the money, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. I was at another institution where I was hired because they were closing down, they were going to shut down, and Central Bank was looking for a buyer. They didn't just want the bank to shut out. So I was there. And when the new buyers came in, they basically one day came in and said, okay, we don't need this person, that person, whatever. And the woman was like, we was in a management meeting, and she was like, well, I'm going to let them come in the morning, and then I'm going to just stand over them while they get their bags and pack up their stuff. And I was like, what you could do? These people been here, some of these people been here for 10 years, for 20 years. You could stand over them like a criminal and walk them out the door. Like, why was that necessary? They didn't steal. There was no negligence. The company downsized it. You know what I mean? So it's just compassion for people. And one day was her turn. Okay? Before I left there, nobody stood over her and watched her pack up her desk and get her bag. And I say it should be no surprise. Let's let these people, we could turn off their access if you feel like they can do something, but let them come to work for the next 2 weeks. And at least give them some compassion, time to adjust, to go home and tell their families to, you know, they know this company was closing on that. I said no. And I say, you all do it your way. So of course you know I was the outside, but I say, please don't ever stand over me. Tell me, pack your stuff and leave. I can do that, but don't ever stand. So I knew that place from that day, it was not for me. Okay, so you just have compassion. You have compassion for, and you're brave because it's hard. It could be you losing your job, but you can always do something with compassion. You don't have to be nasty about anything. Especially because a lot of people lost their job. Like Scotia had a big that branches closed. Royal Bank branches closed, and I can tell you, the people at Royal, they were compassionately handled. Okay, because everybody had counseling, everybody had respite. Scotia too? Right, so that's how you treat people. And if you're all in these institutions where they govern, if these people did not steal or wasn't negligent, don't stand over nobody. Don't make them feel like a thief. And you know what I mean? Follow some procedure, but don't, it could be you. Treat that person how you would want to be handled if it was you. Okay? So, some people just get bravery wrong. Bravery means I need to come find you and, no, brave enough to handle me with compassion and care and tell me your services are no longer needed professionally. Okay? Alright. So, along with all of those traits, there are 6 particular traits that they say each effective leader should have. And that's drive, right? There has to be something in you to keep you going, to want you to push towards this goal, the desire to influence others. So of course, when you start your essay, you will talk about qualities, intelligence and charm and bravery. But when they go into effective leaders must have drive, desire to influence others, honesty and moral character, self-confidence, intelligence, relevant knowledge. And honesty and moral character does not only mean that you tell the truth, but you live up to your responsibilities, all your promises. And if you ain't perfect, there will be times when it's raining hard and you can't show up, but you call, you give an excuse. You don't say that these people are the lower level than me, I guess they ain't showing up. No, you be responsible with your timing. You treat everybody fairly. You treat everybody like nobody better know that. All these the managers, all these the operative employees know I could be late. If you can't be late for the CEO and the managers, don't be late for the gardener and the person who sweeps the floor. Treat everybody with respect, and that's how you build trust. That's how you get honor as a leader. Okay? So qualities versus effective traits. Effective leader traits. Okay, we get that? All right, we following, but I could, I know we getting towards
Sorry,
8:30
repeat what you said just now. You say qualities.
versus effective traits of effective leaders.
I think the qualities are under leadership, the ability of the individual, right? How the quality is.
I read it from my notes. I could go in the book and tell you exactly where. Okay, so are leaders born or made? And they talk about leadership traits there. On page 219, you see that? Where it says qualities such as intelligence, charm, and whatever. Then they go on to talk about are leaders born and made. And then what are the traits of successful leaders? And then you see this little thing up in the corner right there? So that's where it talks about effective leadership. And that's where you see the drive. You see the desire to influence others. You see the honesty and moral character. You see self-confidence, intelligence.
And I mean the comment you made, you say quality versus.
Yeah, I just say you know the difference. So when you write or perhaps you answer a question if it's multiple choice. Because people ask for multiple choice, but the multiple choices be a little bit more tricky. So you will see what are the traits of an effective leader versus what is a leadership trait.
Okay.
You see the difference? Okay, and so that and they will list the intelligence, enthusiasm. You will like, oh yeah, right, you see the first one, but no. It's the drive, it's the confidence, it's the ability to lead or the desire to influence others. Okay, we getting that? Or reading is better. See, I try to search it up because people complain, we pay for the book. Some people complain that we pay for the book, we don't use it. Then other people complain that we read too much. So I try to go through it, but if you don't read, it's very difficult to understand. right? So I just don't want the complaints that we read the whole book. You paid for the book. I think we should read the whole book. You know what I mean? But it's really up to y'all. So I just feel through the class, and then by the third or fourth class I say, okay, reading works best for them. So y'all have to let me know. Because if it's hard to keep up this way, then we can read. I have no issue with reading. I believe when we read it's more effective. Comments? Hmm?
This way is fine.
This way is fine?
It's like
You
a-
sure?
I mean, it seems
Majority?
like with the more important things,
Things
right?
that you, okay, so y'all will, so before y'all come on Monday, y'all know you have to do your presentation, and 3 and 12, y'all have the whole weekend. Please read 3 and 12 so you will know what I'm talking about.
And Wednesday is quiz 1, 3, 9, 12.
No. Yeah, on the May the 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
1 and 9
Yeah,
and
1,
3
9, 3 and 12.
1, 9, 3, and
Right.
Can we have a manual, please?
Sure. You have everything from last week? Okay, here you go. This is everything from last week. Now you have to get somebody's number to get it.
Say last week.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, is another word. You know what old people is too mixed up. Yeah, so make sure you get, so you have the homework. Yeah, you could present on Monday.
She have a doctor?
She'll have to pick one. Whoever is gonna sit with her and tell her what Mr. And this gentleman over here, you have to go through and tell them they need to pick a topic, we supervise it, we help it, and perhaps now one of them, if you don't have your mentee, one of them can be your mentee. That's the easiest thing to do. They new to the class, they, you know, couldn't do it, so you good? Okay, good. Okay, good, we gotta finish leadership now, we gotta finish leadership. You gotta call her later, get a number, call her later. Okay, good, so we see, what are the traits of successful leaders? Okay, so I think we can read what are the traits of successful leaders, and then we can start with charisma next week. And don't worry, you only can be tested on as far as we go. You know, so you don't have to be like, oh, we ain't cover it. Okay, so who read now? Gentlemen? Okay? Page 220, what are the traits of successful leaders?
229.
229,
at the
okay.
bottom.
Yeah, okay. And then when you all read, then we can go to a faster route. Good, okay.
What are the traits of successful leaders? Research efforts at isolating specific leadership traits resulted in a number of dead ends. Attempts failed to identify a set of traits that would always differentiate leaders from followers, and effective leaderships from ineffective leaders. Perhaps it was a bit optimistic to believe that a set of consistent and unique personality traits could apply across the board to all effective leaders. In such widely diverse organizations as Dell Computer and Indianapolis Colts, the Archdiocese of Washington, Walmart, and Toyota. Attempts to identify traits consistently associated with those who are successfully influencing others have been more promising. For example, 6 traits on which leaders are seen to differ from non-leaders are drive, the desire to influence others, honesty, and moral character, self-confidence, intelligence, and relevant knowledge. A person's drive reflects his or her desire to exert a high level of effort to complete a task. This type of individual often has a strong need to achieve and excel in what he or she does. Ambitious, this leader demonstrates high energy levels in his or her endless persistence in all activities. Furthermore, a person who has this drive frequently shows a willingness to take initiative. Leaders have a clear desire to influence others. Often this desire desire to lead is viewed as a willingness to accept responsibility for the variety of tasks. A leader also builds trusting relationships with those he or she influences. By being truthful and by showing a high consistency between spoken words and actions. In other words, others are more apt to be influenced by someone whom they view as exhibiting honesty and moral character.
Okay, so make sure, and then don't be the gossiper either, because if you would gossip with me, you would
Gossip about me.
Yeah, if you could gossip with me, you could gossip about me. So be mindful of all of these things, and you know how humans are. You could do 1,000 things right, but that one thing you do wrong, I can remind you for the rest of your life, right? And then I can write you off and say you're not an effective leader because this one bad habit you have, right? So be very careful and mindful what you put out there, you know, especially to us, the supervisor, okay?
A person who leads also shows self-confidence to convince others of the correctness of goals and decisions. It has been shown that employees prefer to be influenced by individuals who are free of self-doubt. In other words, they are influenced more by the supervisor who has a strong belief as opposed to the one who frequently waffles on decision making. Influencing others requires a level of intelligence too. To influence others successfully, one needs to be able to gather, synthesize, and interpret a lot of information. He or she must also be able to create a vision, a plan, communicate it in such a way that others understand it, solving problems and making good decisions. Many of these intelligence requirements come from education and experience. Finally, an effective leader has a high degree of relevant knowledge about the department and the unit's employees. This in-depth knowledge helps the supervisor make well-informed decisions, as well as understand the implications those decisions have on others in the department.
So also people try to get away with making no decision at all, okay? That's not a good trait of an effective leader, okay? You have to make a decision and you won't always be right. But please do some research, so at least when you're wrong, you can say, I made it based on, this research or whatever, now I found more information or some things have changed, okay? Just don't, a lot of times we just wing it. We don't want to do research. We just avoid making a decision entirely, and just time will solve it or heal.
No, I think it's best for how I feel when you're making a decision. If you can't back up while you make a decision,
Do some more research,
like you just was talking on hell.
And like I tell you,
Like
I
you
asked
could
somebody,
see in the multiple choice because you didn't know.
yeah, any, mini, miny, mo, when you say, okay, see, yeah, but I have people that stand in the front of this whole class and they will talk for 3 hours, because they like to be seen, they like to be heard, garbage, full garbage. All wrong information, and then you will think it's like from the gospel, okay?
They so
So they speak so eloquently, they dress right up, they look good and they smell good.
Politician ain't.
She is on her way. And I said, do you know those stuff, did you fact check any of those things that you said?
Trumpet.
Oh yeah, I do that every year, yeah, I give them the same information here.
And
Don't
you would
worry,
call
they'll
them
be
up?
fine.
You'd call them up.
I tried because they were like, she wanted me to do a presentation with her, and I was like, oh no, I can't. I just simply can't. You just sit up there and you talk for 3 hours presenting garbage. I was like, oh no. I hide from that one. Okay, y'all take care. So be prepared when we can start the presentations and we'll finish, and we'll hopefully get through 3 or 12. But whichever we don't get through, then we won't have on the quiz. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, very good. So excited to hear your topics. All right, good night. Now make sure, Miss Lady, you have all the information. Don't let her go. If she didn't give you a number, you get a number. Okay, you sure you straight? Okay, good. Key I want to hear y'all too. I was into the first class, so you, lady, you have all the information? Okay. No excuses. I was into the first class and I do it. Everybody trying to register? Okay, so you read it. This is a speech from a graduation. It talks about leadership. So you read it, and if anything jumps out to you, like first, one part of it says that the Chinese and the Indians are going to take over the Bahamas, or they will rule the world. She doesn't necessarily agree with that, so she's going to do some research and she's going to talk about whether or not the Chinese and the Indians, good evening, will in fact rule the world or not. You know, and we know that they lend countries a lot of money, and then, you know, they acquire their ports. So they just acquire Guatemala's port and some ports in Africa. So she go talk about that. Another person, they talk about debt. And so somebody can tell us how to stay out of debt, how to save money, what to do. You know, just a one pager. What else? It talks about who you have relationships with, determine when you die, how you live, when you retire. You know, so somebody can talk to us about relationships and having the right one. So, you know, right. Yeah, read it, whatever jumps out to you, give us a one page and present it, and we ought is to help us, we want to learn something new to make us a better leader. Okay? Okay, good work.
Where do we parking? Where they park?
Sure, across the road.
Okay, and then,
Ground,
so
dumps and
how you
back in.
get through? They give a back door or something?
Yeah, you walk, you either walk around and come
Okay.
through the front door, or you could walk through and come right upstairs to the kitchen door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she can show